Or are we though?
Yes.
I mean, we're on the road to go break some guy's knees, so.
Not
Never not gonna stop being funny.
knees.
It's just like
Nico knees.
Oh god. It's
Is
like
it a
somebody
3 green? Is it a 3 green? So we can get the bee's knees.
The 3 green goes, can we Nico not?
You don't gotta. You have no say in this.
The only choice you get is if it's between one of us, he just gestures to the 3 fleshies, or them, points to 0.
To be fair, Ava hits harder than I do.
As he just gets really more flustered.
Can't believe we're gonna start the session like just harassing Buck Bumble.
Blows up mind with mind.
Damn, my mind!
I mean, I can do that. I do have Tasha's Mind Whip.
Blow up pancakes with my mind. My fucking pancakes.
Should have had waffles. Meanwhile, it's like Devourer nearby. Aww. Darn it. Just kicks off one rock with his front foot.
But yeah, who wants to start going around the horn?
Who gets to be the horny?
Well, I guess I'll start.
Also, where's that noise coming
There
from?
we go.
What
What noise?
What noise?
Oh, it must be a Discord thing, and I must have accidentally clicked it in my settings. Occasionally when something happens, I get a weird, like, twinkling sound.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, is it like a push-to-talk activation or something?
Possibly.
It could be push notifications of something going on in the server.
Yeah,
So
that
why
tends to
the-
reset on me occasionally.
Also, hi there, Caitlin. First time chatter. Welcome.
How am I? Hello.
Discord. Yeah, Twitch chat.
Well, I guess I'll get my intro out of the way. Hello, I'm your glorious DM, Mill Ninja. I am just floating around. You can also find me on Blue Sky and occasionally on Twitch at Mill Ninja, and you can also find me DMing for here, not only for the Outlaws Gambit, but also for Phase of Our Lives, so I'll be on the Witchlight campaign. You can also find me over on LeJake's channel every other Tuesday for Adosian Anthologies Legacy of the Deal Breakers, where there appears to be disorder in the court as one of our party members, Tribunals, has getting side-railed by an Archmage. Oh boy, this could only go badly for him. But yeah, that's it for me. Citric, you're next. Go.
Well, hello, I'm Cedric. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Citricing, everywhere being places like Blue Sky, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter if you want to watch at that account. Right now, pretty busy on my end. I've been posting the results of some of the latest commissions batches, but like never a bad idea to like poke your head around and see what I'm doing. This is next week it's gonna be a long oh god, I think it's Hasa the one that's going to be streaming, but we're going to have a long session for Candlekeep game because scheduling got messed around. So instead of trying to do a 2-shot for the for that module, it's going to be all in one, so it's going to be probably like a 7-hour game. So if you have like time to kill on a Saturday, I think the Has channel is Has is my name. I would need to check. But anyway, that is all for me. So throw it to Russell.
Hello, you can find me on at Rosa Ryu on Blue Sky and YouTube. This coming Monday, it's MNW Limit Break, and I am working on the intro for that. You can find me as Sawyer, the Undisputed Future on that show at twitch.tv Dr_Caliban. And yeah, so I'm here as Vandry. I will pass it on to Skelet.
Hi, everybody. I am Scaly Alpha. I can be found on Twitch and Blue Sky under the same name. Currently, not a whole lot else planned this week for me besides Those Who Wonder on Sunday, found here as well. Additionally, I do know one stream for sure that will be happening is on Monday. I'll be playing with Tixtixel and Pepper Chesser, where we're playing the Off fan game, A New Home War. So look forward to that. Other than that, the schedule isn't out just yet for the rest of the week, but it will be forthcoming. So that's really it for me for now. I'll pass it over to Vaughn, who is the last one to go. Go, Vaughn.
Give me a
Host
second.
with
Here.
the most.
I am trying to find out what's making that like twinkle sound because it's obnoxious and I can't tell what's making it.
Oh, give me a second. I can help you with that. I know it's a streamer mode thing. It may be a streamer mode setting you may have toggled on or off. Because streamer mode normally mutes all those sounds.
Yeah, I
Let me
know.
see.
So let's see here. Where's streamer mode? There it is. Enable streamer mode. Yeah. Options. I mean, because I have disable notification and disable sounds. They're both on.
Yes.
And there it went again.
I would like to believe that you're just being harassed by a very annoying Fae.
I mean, it has to be because no one's messaging me, so I don't know where this is coming from unless that was from Milla typing into text chat. 1 second.
Maybe like that.
Nope, didn't hear that end. So it's just doing it at random intervals, and it's really jarring, and it's going to be very bad for the stream. Wait a second. I think it might be tied to, yeah, Caitlin, type something. If it's tied to Twitch chat, then that's going to make this impossible, and I have to figure out how to make sure it doesn't read my Twitch chat. Because if
I don't
so,
think so.
that's obnoxious.
You get something there.
No. So that's good.
I'm gonna try something. I'm just gonna press T a few times.
No,
That
so it's
happened?
not push to talk. Again, it's happening at random times when random people are speaking.
Weird.
That is odd.
Okay, well, then I guess we'll just go ahead. Hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on YouTube and Blue Sky, Burnout Vaughn, and over on Patreon, Burnout's Bar. This week, I am streaming literally every day this weekend with tonight. We have Outlaws Gambit. Tomorrow, we have No Love War Extra with Saris and Zako as we finally do the first case in episode 1 of The Devil, where we sure are a public defender who spent the entire time playing an investigator. Again, there it went. I do not know what's going on, and it's going to become incredibly obnoxious. Unless... Let me check something here. I'm just going to close all my tabs that aren't the game. And my sheet. There we are. Alright, so then, following that, we have Those Who Wander on Sunday, where, oh boy, did I just make the party's life incredibly hard in this new, thriving, bustling city that we're going to be spending almost all of our times.
Sorry, I needed to do something there.
Okay. You're good.
Oh yeah, I was noticing that.
But,
Yeah.
But yeah, we also now have our second guest, a very, very helpful goblin named Clem, who we owe many beers, and have made canon that at least sold inside of Scald is Cerveza Cristal.
Why?
Take it up with them, not me.
You should have heard my reaction when I was like, "What?"
And now
Do I get no respite? Do I get no safe harbor from that joke?
At least we didn't at you.
Yeah.
Though if it keeps
I
coming...
appreciate the restraint.
There it went again.
Oh no.
But yeah, at least put it this way, Citric, I will never make you, even though I will probably have to get one made at some point, make you do a Cerveza Cristal emote.
Fuck off.
I said I'm not going to make you. I at least know that much. But with that being said, I hope we can get through the theme song without having to hear any more of this twinkling. So I will be right back.
We gotta establish the rules.
Though hopefully, as I said, I think I found the problem and have hopefully disabled it. So let's go.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was trying to listen to what that sound was. I haven't quite heard it yet. I did unmute your stream to try and pinpoint what it is.
I heard the twinkle, yeah, on the stream. I'm like, huh. At least while you were setting up the song. But yeah. Blah 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 blah. I assume that's the. Oh, go ahead, Vaughn.
Yeah.
Okay. That reminds me, I gotta get something else set up here real quick.
Oh. Ooh, very nice.
Welcome on all to another wheelin' dealin' episode of the Outlaws Gambit. When the last hand was dealt to our players, Fandry, Ava, Zero, and Hero, they were staring down a trio of operatives from a satellite group of Draconis Malisath, led by one named Burgess. They had been tailing the centaur whose package our group had taken. Not wanting to start more trouble, they gave the chalice and forgery kit, but not the book to him, and managed to sneak away out of giving the book back, at least for now. Burgess the next day sent a message to them about a targeted baker which needed some debt to be repaid. One Ganon Silverwolf, a local chariot racer. In an effort to get out of town, they managed to bump into a grizzled gnomish inventor named Erwin Ironrich, who just so happened to need an escort back to his workshop in Baker. Setting out later that day, they left Sargrad for a cross-country wagon trip towards Talus. That night, as they settled to camp, an owlbear cub wandered in, followed closely by its mother. Combat ensued, and as the party downed the cub, the mother grew enraged. Ava, feeling compassion for the cub, healed it, before the pair were eventually driven off. As the dust of gunpowder settles, the party rests up for the night. As the new hand is dealt and bets are placed, let's see where our chips fall for tonight, shall we? So, again, just for the sake of brevity, you guys do manage to successfully complete a long rest after last night's encounter with the owlbears. As the day makes way up, Erwin is kind of the one of the earlier ones to rise as you kind of hear the heavy thump of his leg as he just saunters forth from the wagon. All right. He makes his way over the patches of the Houlihan, his duo of horses, just to make sure they were doing all right after last night's fun. All right, there you are. All right, let's get the pitch up camp, shall we? Get at least another good day's ride, or you could probably make it to Tallis before nightfall.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. What's everybody up to as they're beginning to pitch up, or as they're waking up from the day?
Considering 3 of us do not sleep, it's funny because
Yeah, Vandry's been up for a while,
Zero
but
for
kind of
for
been doing like a very slow perimeter around their camp.
All right.
Just making sure that nothing else like sneaks up on them in the middle of the night.
Yeah, fair enough. You, during the course of your trancing at least, there was a tree nearby where you guys had parked for the cart for the night. But the only thing that you really saw was there was an owl that kind of swooped down onto the branch for a little bit. Just kind of looking around for anything to scrounge up for, well, any sort of small wildlife. But it managed to fly away after a little bit. Ugh. But yeah, eventually, Ava, you're kind of roused from your sleep. About the same time Erwin manages to wake up.
She would be like just getting up and stretching and just like she was cramped while sleeping. It's like, I'm up.
I would say Hero is basically just using prestidigitation to clean whatever dirt and grime he acquired while doing very little actual work yesterday. And he probably would have also used it just to start the first campfire for, like, breakfast.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right, so for the 3 of you, go ahead and write off 1 day's worth of rations as you chow down on it for your breakfast.
Alrighty.
Yeah, Erwin is currently cracked in on another can of beans as he's just kind of looking at the of you. Well, after last night's festivities, makes me kind of glad I stumbled into the 4 of you.
you hear clanging from the back as Zero is doing like morning maintenance of the battle suit. And why is that?
Well, not many around here said they had a chance encounter with an owl bear and lived to tell the tale about it, let alone 2.
The threat was de-escalated successfully. You can say thanks to Ava for that.
Yeah. That was kind of special, that thing you did with your hands there, Missy.
Oh, yeah. Kind of a fun little neat thing I can do, I suppose. Unfortunately,
Healing magic has proven. Sorry, go ahead.
if you press me to describe how I could do it, I couldn't give you an answer, unfortunately.
So what you're
Here-
saying is you're not with the law branch. Normally, those types of paladins or clerics are typically the ones that can practice all those healing magics. I tell you, I got to see a lot of that in the war. I know what that's like. As he just kind of looks down and you just hear the clang as he slaps his prosthetic leg.
Yeah, I'm none of those things. I'm not any kind of normal practitioner of any kind of anything special. I just have a couple little fun feats of fancy I can do, I suppose.
Fascinating. He kind of ponders about for a while, takes a big old spoonful of beans, and he just kind of ruminates on your answer as well as, the beans.
It sounded like Hero had great interest in like writing it down for some reason, but that's about all I know.
Because you're a one-of-a-kind thing, and one-of-a-kind things should be recorded for history, so we don't lose them. Or in case there becomes a time when there's two-of-a-kind things.
She smiles at that, and like having her hands on her knees, kind of turns back over toward Zero and their new acquainted friend here, and it's like, I'm gonna be in a book.
Well, a thesis.
Zero leans over your shoulder. Are you telling her to reproduce?
He's literally going to... Well, no. Citric, I'm going to give you the most me answer of all for most of my characters. I know Skelly already knows. Where is it? It's starting to get buried. Here it is. This is Hero's exact response. And for those who know me from my streams, it's the prepare to speak, hold up a finger, lower finger, have a confused face.
You do that a lot. That does not answer my question, though.
It means there's no polite way to answer that question. Social cues.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did not know that. I will take note of that. And you see Zero going back to like the maintenance of the battlesuit.
After a while, Erwin manages to. He found it hilarious about your response for reproducing. And he almost choked on the beans he was eating. Oh no, I got out my nose. He does a big old snort and tries to get out as much as he can. He kind of thinks about it for a second. He looks at you for a moment, Sarah, and says, well, can't say I've heard too many people be so blunt about that. And then he kind of looks over towards you for a second, Hero. You're a scribe of some sort, wanting to write about all that stuff?
I am a historian, and by trade, by nature, I am both an archaeologist and an anthropologist trying to archive as much of our lost history as possible, because as I kept having to tell people before I left home, if nobody does it, then it'll all be gone, and then someone will eventually go, why did no one write this down?
You know you call yourself an archaeologist, but people keep calling you grave rover.
First of all, that only applicable if I was an elf, because that means that the grave is old enough for me to actually know the person who's inside it to rob. Second of all, That is also one of the greatest academic argues of semantics.
You say that, but the law keeps chasing us for that.
He's just gonna walk over, wrap an arm around Zero's shoulders, guide him a little bit around behind his battlesuit, and go, Zero, we are going to keep having to
Yes?
run. We are going to have to keep running from the law if you keep telling everyone that we have had to run from the law.
You're running from the law? As you just
Yes.
say this out loud in front of Erwin.
Well, no, Zero had already said it several times, but this is a more whispered conversation, at least behind the battlesuit as a barrier.
Okay,
Yeah, and just see Zero leaning from behind the battlesuit. Yes, indeed.
Just slaps his face, slowly peels his hand down, stretching his features. If you were not a marvel of history and technology, I would have thrown you in a river by now.
Do you know, you are aware that I am waterproof, right?
Don't. He just throws his hands up in the air, turns around, it's like, don't know what I expected. Don't know what it's too early. Too early. Does anyone have coffee and or alcohol?
Don't you still have that whiskey from the bar?
Yeah, I think you still had at least that bar that you were just kind of working your way through, Vandry.
Because I think what was it? You've got like at least a couple of bottles from that bar.
Possibly.
Yeah,
I don't
like-
remember. It's been a minute.
Yeah, it was like 2 1 3/4 liters. You know, standard whiskey size.
Yeah, I think he like bought like 2 or 3 of them, or something. Like 1 or 2, maybe.
I believe it was 2.
All right,
I'm going to settle with 2 bottles of whiskey.
Then he is just going to fix himself an Irish coffee.
Yeah. Thankfully, Erwin also has ample supply of coffee, which, you know, as part of letting you escort him around, he does at least, you know, heat up a pot for you guys to drink. Well, for being as... Hopefully you don't do too much damage to him. Maybe if anybody at Talus might want to get a good look at you while you're at it.
He's saying this to whom?
Oh, he's just gotta say that to the group of you.
Ah. And why is that?
You never been to Talus?
Looks at Hero. Have we?
Looks to God.
Well, considering you would have come from the desert, take a look at the map here for a hot minute. If you would have come down from the Shining Road, yeah, give me a history check to see how well you remember during your travels.
Just Hero or both of us?
Anyone of you.
Oh, neato.
That's a 16.
That's a 13.
Let me see here. 20.
Nice.
All right. Zero, you have basically, you remember that in your time you basically originated from Sargrad? I don't believe you would have made your way to Talus at any point, but you have heard that it is a very strongly, it's mostly a river port town, which is known for its various canals. Hero, in your time when you've traveled through, yeah, you've do remember Talos being a pristine technological marvel in the sense where you saw lots of technology being used for various docks, locks and dams, levees. Lots of canals are being made. You do know that there are a lot of tinkerers, guilds, firms that are established in Talos that try and help, push the modern edge of technology, in a sense. And Ava, yeah, you basically know that much info as well. What else can I give you? One of the beacons inside of Talos is, and I have to grab my real quick. It's the Intrepid Endeavor, which is essentially a very large ship that was built to traverse as well, like the cutting bits of technology. But it proved to be so large that it was not able to traverse the canals inside of Talos, so now it's more like a permanent structure inside of the city.
Amazing.
And also,
We made a truck so big we cannot ride it.
Also, I now think that this is a new feature for, like, the Twitch plugins in OBS, because it only happens when no one has been in the chat for a hot minute. It's a wake-up command. And I have no way of figuring out where in my settings I can turn that off.
Could you perhaps turn off the volume of your browser?
Location. Yeah.
Well, no, I think it's working on OBS.
Oh, right. Huh.
I might want to tinker with that during the break.
I will try, but again, I have no idea how this even happened. I didn't do anything new. It's driving me crazy. See, there it went again. But one thing I wanted to point out, Milla, we weren't so much asking for information about Talos. We were asking if we've been through Talos.
Yeah, specifically you have.
Okay.
In your time traveling around, and I think Ava has been there as well. Especially, trying to make your streak between Talos and Leetzen. Especially coming from the deserts to the east.
Okay. She would say, I've been over that way.
Briefly
Then you would
past.
know. Then you would know about how everyone is all up and up about technology out there. It's probably a little too much for my taste. That's why I always go to Sargrad to grab my stuff, even on the way through if it's closer. Then again, grabbing bulk steel's cheaper than getting anything processed from inside Talos. Even if I do feel at home with the Tinkerer's Guild.
You see Zero pop their head again. Like, pardon? Did you say this city has a lot of industry?
Well, yeah.
How famous of a place it is?
Well, as he just kind of ponders upon for a little bit. Where is it, Paige? Why are you failing me? Why? That's where it was. I was like, Just thinks about it for a little bit. Well, Talus was basically the one. They were the ones that basically had such technology that they basically bent all the rivers and the waters inside to their will. They carved out new tributaries, got rid of the superfluous ones, made dams. Basically, every square inch of that town, for better or for worse, was bent under the will of the trade masons. And for everything that's trying to make their way from further upriver to Sargrad, or else for eventually making their way to Tidespar.
You see, if I were to go there, I would find people with high skills in technology.
Why, of course. Heck, all you need to do is just make your way on down to Midtown. That's where they've got all the... That's where they got Tinkerer's Row down there. They've got
Zero
a
looks
lot
at
of
you,
firms
Hero.
down there, various art tinkerers.
Zero looks at you, Hero, and it's like, can we go there?
We have to. Well, we have to go to Talus's, if it's on the way.
Honestly, I would rather prefer to stop off at the Groggy Gear.
Irwin just kind of looks up at you, Vandry. Yeah, honestly, that's my stop of choice too. Real nice dive bar. Good for musical acts too. That's usually where I like to stay on my way through.
That sounds splendid. I'm
Oh,
really
that's
looking
good
forward
to
to
me.
see a place. Go ahead.
I even just said that sounds good to me.
All right. Irwin eventually just picks up the tin can and throws it after kind of make sure he gets every last bit of the beans out of it. He'll just throw the can in the back of his wagon, right next to the other one. Every little piece of scrap counts, and nowadays too. Actually, I also need to melt that down to make sure I get the right composition. For a
Problem with
certain plate
resources?
I'm working, I guess. He kind of looks up at you, Zero.
Problem with resources?
He kind of... I'm sorry, it's such like above board. I'm just like, what did you say?
Oh yeah, no, yeah, no, it's fine. He said problem with the resources.
Well, supposedly, He kind of ponders about it for a moment. Well, last time I heard, making my way through here, I thought I heard somebody made mention that a couple of caravans have been attacked as of late. Can't say I've ever figured out why, but just maybe. Let's just say that it made me a little more anxious to make sure I grab some extra protection. Last thing we need is to have any, whether it's bandits or gang runners, trying to help put a kink in things.
That does sound inconvenient, yes.
Definitely. I'd imagine if anybody were to catch wind of what was going on, I don't know. He just kind of thinks to himself, but that's not my place. I just need to worry about my own hide.
Meanwhile, I would assume most people are like wrapped up in their conversation about Talus. I think Hero would mosey on behind Vandry and tap her on the shoulder and be like, quick minute.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And and if they're like looking for a quiet spot, then yeah, Vandry would know a spot that would be out of earshot.
He'll let you lead the way since he looking between the two and knowing at least a little bit about Vandry, he's going to leave it to the assassin slash hit woman of the group to find the quiet place to have something private said.
Yeah, it probably would be more like close by the stream where the running water would kind of disguise the conversation a bit more.
Yes. So, I forgot to mention this when we left, but there is one thing that, again, since you are broadly the most affected member of our little enterprise, as it were, that, you see my book here. And he just holds you out the book. I want you to notice, I know you know it's special, but I want you to notice something else special about it. And as he opens it up, and you'll see the book is completely blank. He'll even use prestidigitation to blow a few pages so that way you can see completely blank. But you have also seen whenever he uses it and he's holding it while he's doing magic, this book glows. If this book ever glows when I'm not doing magic, that means I'm getting an order from my patron. That order supersedes anything we are doing. I do not care how much our new benefactors, he air quotes, care if I deviate from. This is my life's work and my entire meaning, so giving you that heads up now. And he says, gives you a smile that says, I know I've just thrown a wrench in your day / month, but he really does not care. He's just putting it on the line out there.
When your patron gives you one of these messages, how much of a time crunch do they give you?
It's not so much a time crunch, it is, I have to find this and then get it and place it in the book through whatever means necessary. Like last time, it was simple. It was just have Zero be as distracting as possible like he usually is, and I reach into an angry centaur's pack and take the book. Other times, it's involved days to weeks of staking out an area so that way we can break in, hopefully without hurting anyone, or at least getting noticed enough, and then getting out as fast as possible. Because all I really get is a collection of words from a collection of different tomes to explain to me what it is I'm looking for. Because it's not always a book. I once had to get a 6-foot statue through this thing.
At the mention of like you having to do like breaking and entering in and stealing things, like there's just this big grin on Vandry's face and be like, I knew there was something about you I liked.
Well, because, well, what's there not to like?
But also the fact that you have days or weeks to stake out a very specific location, that can give a little bit of maneuverability to what we have. I mean, it's not necessarily always a guarantee that I'll have a job, so you know.
All right, just
As much as as one benefits the other, everything will be fine.
fair enough. Just letting you know before I have to leave you in the lurch at some point.
No, if you're going to be breaking in and stealing something, I'm all for it.
Fair though.
Especially if I can make a little bit of coin from it.
Fair. I mean, I don't really care what you steal. I mean, a lot of times I'm stealing from Arcanimist sanctioned places, so I was already just doing the world a favor by getting it out of the hands of those Luddites.
Now, is there anything else you want to ask, or
No, just getting that out of the way before.
Out of earshot?
Yes, and also just giving it a point so that way Zero doesn't try to chronicle our every misdeed, quote unquote. Though really, at least making it so that way no knowledge in the world that is worth having is ever lost. That said, then, again, like I reiterated back when we had the issue with the chalice, anything I once put through this book is not getting back unless I physically go to my patron. And even then, they would not let me take it out of the library unless having it would allow me to help it further. Like this wand.
And where exactly is your patron?
Around.
That's a little bit vague, but okay. I can get with that.
That's I'm not allowed to tell you, and I'm not allowed to tell you many things about my patron, or being a high elf. So you're going to get used to, at best, me giving you the phrase "kensei."
Likewise, there's a few things I don't want to say.
Then you know exactly where I'm coming from and why I went to an elf with this, because I believe we are the two best people to understand our situations.
Agreed.
Alright, let's go rejoin. And hopefully I won't have to make this any stronger. Zero is being especially zero this morning. Oh. One of the greatest pieces of technology in the world. Obviously one of the greatest finds of this millennia. And he still finds a way to make me go, if I could just find a mute, if I could just find a mute, if I could just find a... And we're walking back.
Yeah, Vandry's just kind of just softly chuckling to herself as they're going back to the group.
All right, this last thing always trying to yeah. As he eventually manages to get the basically the fire pit kit just finally shoved into its pack. I always have trouble with this one thing. Yeah, there we go. As it manages to shove the pieces right back into its bag. All right, up you go. He manages to hook that into the back of the wagon. All right. There's that. And then he manages to get back to hitching up Patches and Houlihan. All right. For that. Getting the guy in here. Oh, hold still, Houlihan. You do this every time, I swear. As he just models himself as he attempts to get that horse hitched up. All right, there you are. Well, he makes his way up towards the wagon. All right, everybody. Let's go ahead and head off. You managed just hike.
Understood. And you see as Zero gets back into the armor, fully gears up.
Yeah, you're walking. So
Yes, sadly the black shell armor does not fit inside of that caravan.
Yes, but you also benefit from the way that you do not traditionally get exhausted, so... Shrugs.
Yes, I do not get exhausted. That sounds rather inconvenient. I am sorry for you.
No. Just as you watch Hero just climbs into the back and just lays down, puts two hands behind his head. Yes, I'm so strained by this frail meager form.
As he hikes the horses and the wagon begins to take off.
Now here's a question I should ask Mill also. Has, in our travels together, or his travels before meeting him, do I know what cities I've got warrants in?
That is a very good question.
Yeah, because I got quite a few priors.
Quite a few priors. Let's see.
I'm going to take a quick little break.
Okay.
Good.
Go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
Oh boy. That's an 86. I hope you're going from largest downward is good.
Let's see. When it comes to Talus, oddly enough, you managed to keep yourself pretty straight laced there, all things considered. In spite of how well the bridge keepers tend to patrol the city of Talus.
And I believe in last session we did establish that he has not done any. He is not wanted in Lietzen because he specifically
Yep.
he specifically answered that no, I have committed no crimes in Lietzen. But as for
You at least don't have nothing that you've really been caught for in Talus. Or
Okay.
nothing that you have any active warrants for.
okay, and then I guess just for Baker, because you can come up with a number of where I am and am not persona non grata, and we can deal with that off stream and put in like party notes.
Yeah, we can cross that bridge when we get there.
But yeah, do I? Well, I have to be lying low in Baker.
Mm-hmm. Yep, probably. But yeah, as your party manages to saunter its way down the road. Everyone go ahead and make perception checks for me.
I'm back.
Everyone?
I'm gonna
Welcome back. Perception check for me, Rosso.
I'm gonna take my passive 19.
Okay. Of course.
Let me
19.
see. Perceptione.
14. That meets my passive.
8.
18.
All right. Zero and Hero. You two would be the first to notice as you're making your way around the hills over here. Huh, you see 7 small forms just kind of alongside as you make your way along. You eventually meet up with the Talus River. Now you have to follow it for a little bit. And as you do, there is never mind. As you make your way forward over, you see there are 7 small forms that begin to make their way down towards the river. You get a closer look at them as you're continuing down the path. You see there are 7 walking bird-like creatures, but as you kind of get a closer look at them, they have these massive beaks.
Huh.
Massive beaks that look kind of sharp. Nature checks for anybody who... I guess eventually you would notice this too. Let's see. Perception.
That's a 5.
That's
Would
an
that
18.
include-
Oh, I'm missing
or-
out on that 21. Oh,
Badgery, yeah. Let's see.
yeah, I don't know.
Hero, you would certainly recognize these as axe beaks.
Do I know if they are typically hostile in this setting?
Depending upon the mood, it's kind of a 50-50.
You're just gonna go.
Sometimes they might be aggressive, sometimes they're not.
So Ava, are you still on your "we don't kill animals" kick? Because there's a 50-50 chance those axe beaks are gonna come charge us.
She would like look at you and say, I mean, the only reason I really wanted to like stop that one is because it had a baby. That was the reason why it was mad. Like if animals like just come at us to like hurt us or eat us, like I don't got really much of a problem with it.
Okay, good.
Seems to me that the base course of action would be to avoid them if possible. If they are not attacking us right away, then
Is
don't see
there
why
an
provoke them.
is there an alternative route?
Oh, the road is basically about 100 feet away from the river at this point, and you just kind of see them further down towards the bank. You're basically just kind of uphill from it.
Well, the
I
reason,
should bring around.
well, the reason I bring it up is if they decide to have a problem with us, they can run as fast as a horse. So, I would say maybe get Patches and Houlihan to maybe get up to a trot. Get up to a trot. How about that, Irvin?
Oh, all right, fine. And he just kind of he cracks the lead, and then he.
Yep, that's a 23 for the vehicles check from Fantry.
Yeah, sure. If you want to assist
Yeah,
with
he'll-
that.
Yeah, well, essentially, Vandry's kind of like driving at the moment, sort of thing. Like that's where she would be. She'd be seeing either
Sitting in the-
driver or co-driver.
Yeah. You're basically sitting right next to Irwin as he's kind of got the reins. You just kind of Well, hold on. As you go to take the reins, and then you go to, get him to pick up speed a little bit. He's like, all right, fine. Tell me how to drive my own horses, I guess. He just kind of starts grumbling to himself.
We are literally doing exactly what you hired us for and doing everything in our power to make sure your cargo and you make it to Baker safely. You're getting
Fair enough.
You're getting your
And
money's
as the
worth.
card pick up speed, card pick up speed, you see the giant armor just stomping back. Like,
I said get it up to a trot. If you actually just did dash action on each of your turns, you'd be fine.
which I will do. Still, do you want me to roll for stealth, or are we just hearing the clang, clang, clang?
I guess go ahead, make a stealth check.
Well, you can't really
You'll
stealth
be
if
at
you're running,
disadvantage.
unfortunately. I don't think you can stealth
Is-
and run at the same time, so it's
Yeah, I was gonna say if you want to try and be stealthy about this, go ahead and make stealth checks, everybody.
I mean, we're getting horses up to a trot. There's no being stealthy, especially if this is a dirt road.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
That's
what,
16.
Rose was saying that like running and stealth. I think you can, but at a disadvantage. Let me check.
Which you're heavy armor, so there would be a disadvantage anyway. So
Yeah, no, I would be regardless. Yes.
all right, so that's 11 from 0. Vadri's 15. 9. And let's just go ahead and roll a perception check for those axe beaks. They appear to raise their heads up towards you. They kind of look for a moment, but they begin to run down the bank and seemingly away from you. Seems like these ones are not hostile.
Oh, good. If you've ever been chased by an axebeak, I tell you don't. Just, if you can get away from it as easily as possible, do. Because they're not fun to fight. The name is very, very literal. Lost one of my best jackets to an axebeak.
Well, if they took it, how are they going to wear it?
Well, they were attempting to eat it. They are not bright birds, they are just hostile occasionally, and an alternative to mounts for horses that I found.
Oh. Yeah, that makes sense.
You see,
Yeah.
they are sharp, not sharp.
I hate it when you attempt wordplay.
Me just sitting up here, just, oh yes, good, more puns. Let the wordplay flow from you.
Well, no. He specifically says attempts wordplay, because that's all a pun is. Because if a pun is good, it's never called a pun.
Fair enough. All right. You continue on down the road as it winds along with the Talisand, the fork of the Talisand River, and eventually, as the dust begins to set, you're eventually greeted by this sight.
Ooh. Ooh.
welcome to Venice, everyone.
Welcome to Cowboy Venice.
Zero actually takes a moment to take in the view. It's a rather large city. Look at all the water in here.
You see before you a very large and bustling canal town. Every tributary, every inch of water seemingly occupied by traffic of various kinds. You see sailing ships, you see barges, you see other vessels of various means of propulsion, whether they be smaller people enjoy their time on rowboats, others be propelled by either paddles of various, whether it be steam powered or something else that you can't quite get a catch of, but flanking all those canals are just a lush scenery of various forms of architecture. The only thing more impressive than the canal themselves are the various bridges that span across every canal that you could think of. And sitting at the seemingly at the height of the center of the city, you see what appears to be the bridge of a rather large ship, which Ava you would recognize as the. But that notes again, you're failing me. As the the Intrepid Endeavor.
For a second there, I thought you were going to say the USS Anne.
This is a rather beautiful city. I have not seen something like this. Which way would you say I can find, like the name escapes, the what's the factorum the term?
Oh, of course you're looking for Tinkerer's Row, huh? Well, let me go ahead and pull up this nice little handy dandy map.
Map.
As you're making your way basically on the southeast side of the city, as you're making your way up the road. Oh. Yeah, you want Tinkerer's Row, which is in Midtown over here. And he points off towards that direction.
If we had the time today, since we are resting, I would very much like to take a look there and ask a few questions.
Oh, of course.
The groggy gear is at Tinker's Row, so if we're stopping there, we can explore Tinker's Row.
Now, there's one thing I want you to understand, though, Zero. It's something to be helpful to you.
Zero is already walking forward.
No, get back! Damn it, why is he have such longer
I'm
legs?
excited!
Watching him, at this point, just to make sure that you will listen to him, he literally is climbing up your fucking back. And just against the side of your helmet.
If you wanted a ride, you could have just said it.
No, I'm trying to warn you before you get yourself hurt.
I cannot get hurt. My armor prevents it.
Okay, let me put it this way. Can you swim either in your regular or armored form?
Zero stops and looks back at Irvin. How deep are the canals?
They can be pretty deep in some spots.
See that giant ship? That ship is meant to be on the sea. It's come this far inland because it's owned here. But if it is not scraping the bottom of a river, the canals are pretty deep. Also, one of the primary ways to get around this city is by ship-based movements, which means you're going to be walking everywhere. Because no ship will let you on for the weight limit.
Or it just kind of looks at you. Well, tell that to the designers of Intrepid Endeavor. The only reason that thing's still stuck there is because they built the thing too big. And then they decided, oh, it's still stuck here, so we're just going to build all of our buildings around it.
Lack of forethought aside, try to have some actual forethought. Okay, Zero? Before you get stuck at the bottom of the... He's just gonna place his face on the back of your head, just be like, this is what I wear. You know what? No. I warned you. I was a good friend. I'm going to go back and get as much rest as I can before we get inside the city, where it's going to be very loud and... where's the whiskey?
Maybe there could be some fun stuff in in the Tinker's Row that maybe I could like improve my like armor stuff. That'd be fun.
Zero stops. Do you want armor?
Well, I mean mostly just my gauntlet and my boots mostly.
Zero stops and walks back. Why did you say so? Why didn't you say so? Given the materials and the time, I could make something for you.
Oh,
I think the deer wanted to make them herself. There's a certain pride in making things by one's own hand. Wouldn't you agree?
This is true. I will respect your wishes then, and just turns around and keeps walking.
Like Vandry was looking to Ava when she said that.
I mean I know a little bit, but like I wouldn't mind if like any kind of collaborative effort. That could be fun.
You're getting off so much easier. It took me a week to get him to not to try and make a suit of armor for me when he met me.
You still need it.
Can't work with it.
And whose fault is that?
I don't know. Ask whoever made high elves. Oh wait, that's a god we forgot the name of because nobody thought to write down our previous religions.
That seems to be the case for a lot of things.
Why do you think I made my life's work preserving history?
You know, for someone who's trying to be discreet, you're being awfully loud.
We're on a hill overlooking that one thing. I'm pretty sure there's not too many people around us.
Yes, but that's kind of a warning for when we get inside of the city, you might want to watch what you're saying.
He's looking at you, he's like, giving you the eye of, I'm the second most reliable person in this group. Don't you start with me.
But yeah, Zero.
Yeah,
like
yeah, but
leads
Vandry's gonna have the wagon kind of move on into the city.
All right. As you begin to descend down this little hill, you begin to make your way towards one of the levees that's actually closest to the front, or basically on the southeast side of the city. You see there are a few other caravans that are kind of making their way along the high road, and you do see a few barges kind of make their way as well, as you see there are some officers that are standing around with clipboards. You see there are a bunch that are currently situated down in the levee itself, as well as a couple of guard stations that are on each side of the river. And you look as you make your way up towards it. Eventually you make your way up, and then you see these guards making their way up. They have heraldry. They wear tabards that have a city sunburst that's in the background with a depiction of a bridge with two guardhouses on each side of it. And Hero, you recognize this as the heraldry of the Talisian Bridge Keepers, who are basically the local constabulary within Talis. All right, papers, please. What's in the wagon? Oh, yes, just one moment. State your business. Just passing through. Just bringing some of my supplies from Sargrad en route to lead to the baker. How long do you intend to stay? Well, we were hoping to at least stay for the night. Possibly longer, depending upon how things play out. Admittedly, I do have a couple other odds and ends to pick up. I just remembered on the way through. Do you have anything to declare in the way of magic items? As they just kind of look all of you up and down. It's specifically their attention's drawn to you, Zero.
Vanity just says nothing on my person.
He will just hold out the wand and be like, if you can get to work, then that'd be awesome. And he'll just gesture for them to try to get it to work as if it's a working magic item.
Zero gives 2 clanks on the chest with the knuckles as they open the chest compartment, so they can see them inside. Like, good afternoon. What I'm wearing right now is known as the black shell. The black shell armor. It is an arcanum modular pattern. It's rather interesting. I can show you the different ways it works.
Please don't have him do that. It'll take several hours.
It shouldn't take that long. It's just a few several subroutines. I have a couple of different engines here. The self-storing system is rather interesting. You see, it can like collapse on itself on what it is, basically a pocket space.
Meanwhile, while Zero is very much distracting the guy checking for magic items, you guys will watch as this guy probably won't even notice it, but Hero's wand dematerializes out of that guy's hand and reforms in his holster.
What? Huh?
Not to mention the different the different cells of energy storage are wonderful for efficiency.
Oh, all right. That's quite enough. The one guard just kind of looks at you. He just kind of offers his hand up and says, fair to say that that's not necessarily magical in nature. As he just kind of looks over. Craftsmanship's rather spectacular, I must admit. Yeah, look at that. As the other one just kind of looks up. And specifically looking at the cavity where you're currently cradled in. He kind of does the double taker, just like, oh! He kind of looks at... What kind of nesting doll thing is that? He just kind of looks at you. Is there like another one, smaller one inside of you?
Yes, I have been talking this entire time. Hi, my name is Zero.
No, do you think there's another one inside of that one? He points at you, at your base form, specifically.
Zero taps at their chest. It's like, well, as far as I am aware, that does not seem to be the case. But I have not been able to remove my own core and examine it, so I wouldn't rule it out entirely. But I doubt that is the case.
Oh, okay then. The other one just kind of looks at you. Oh yeah, that's fascinating.
Are we free to move along, gentlemen?
Well, I mean, everything does seem to be in order. Given our curiosities for the construct, as it kind of looks over towards you, as it motions towards Zero.
No.
Right. Move along then. Enjoy your stay within the City of Bridges.
Thank you. We will try to do so. And the armor collapses and Zero starts walking again. It's been a pleasure to meet you.
All right. Next then.
Heroes are gonna look to Vandry and be like, you'd be surprised how often I can just do that, and they still never notice because they're too busy talking about Zero.
I'm guessing your friend there's gonna be a blessing and a curse as Erwin just kind of looks over towards you, hero.
In all honesty, I've learned the best way to use Zero is to let him happily inform people about how he works. And after that, breaking through walls.
Just be careful. I mean, like I said, there's a lot of firms around here that might want to look into you, especially anybody affiliated with the Dawnstone Company.
Would I have any passing, knowledge of them? Having been here before?
Make a history check for me.
Okie dokie. I have a pretty good idea of what they are.
Oh, yeah, with the 21.
21.
The Dawnstone Company, in particular, you have heard of them as basically one of the founding think tanks that is an association of the brightest minds of all the Tinkerers guilds inside of Talus. They're the ones that did the majority of, the planning and, brainstorming when it came to trying to figure out what technology to use for certain projects. Although they often did serve as consults for the main body which runs the day-to-day affairs within Talus, known as the Trade Masons.
So, Erwin, and he is going to do this as quietly as he can, I would like to possibly get a feel for the lay of the land in Talus currently before I say we let my friend know about the Dawnstone Company. Depending on how amenable they might be currently, I might just happily take him there and help us get some answers as to some things about himself. But if, say, it's a little rocky politically, I may want to make sure no one tries to monopolize my friend permanently. Do you get what I'm putting down?
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
Yeah, so we can tell him eventually, but right now we'll tell him when it's the safest for him to know. And as he's saying this, he knows Vandrew's probably listening in, so he's probably just putting this out there to both of them.
Oh, Vandrew's definitely listening in.
And I'm just waiting for Erwin's answer.
All right. If you want to take your time getting down to Midtown.
Again, we might. It's just, I don't want him to turn from a evolving thesis into an act of dismantling. But yes, let's first find some accommodations, and then we can sightsee as best we please.
All right. As you begin to weave through the various, you manage to ascend a few flights of stairs up along the Knight's Gate as you make your way through, and there's actually actually, I take that back. There is a lift that is actually used to raise and lower everything higher up that comes from the outside. So you hear constant gears turning and the sound of pistons churning as you manage to ascend higher up the outer walls of the levee.
It's horrible, but my brain thought you were just going to say, you hear engines turning and you hear piss.
Piss. Oh no, my coolant's leaking. Oh no, my yellow antifreeze is leaking. Quick, I need to patch this hole.
It's just that scene from the first Michael Bay Transformers.
I was about to make reference to that.
Listen, but with the number of people
Bumblebee, stop pissing on the man.
Yeah, no. It was either going to be Yumi or Citric, okay?
I was also making to the reference on Futurama where Fry tries to infiltrate the robot planet.
Oh yeah.
You're leaking an awful lot of coolant. I have a patch for that. No, it's quite fine. It's quite fine.
But for the part, Zero is just fascinated, taking in the whole view of the city and the amount of just mechanical stuff around, with a mixture of like genuine wonder and just like a professional interest as seeing all the machinery around them.
Oh yeah, the first thing that catches your eye, like I said, there are the various. As you even ascended the Knight's Gate, as you're walking around the upper ramparts of the levee, you look off to your left and you see there are several bridges that. Oh. You see some that are down, and you see as a ship is sailing through the canal, you actually see the bridges begin to raise up so that the spans just miss the sails as they make their way down. And even so, even as far in the distance as that is happening, even right on the corners as you're making your way in and out, you see all manner of lamps that are not being lit with gas, in a sense. You see various inventors on a couple of street corners hawking small contraptions like small toys and wind-up automatons as they dance around on various little vendors. And even wandering around the streets, you do see larger constructs walking their way around. Obviously not as sophisticated as what your design is, but for clockworks and other powered beings, they just the vast quantity of them as they make their way around, it's definitely a sight to be seen. You see one looking like it's just standing on a street corner, spinning around like a ballerina. Spinning around in place. You see there's another one that is working next to a street vendor, and they offer various confectionaries on the stall and hand them out to customers who are paying. You do see there is a chariot that is riding around, and riding on the back of it is a rather admittedly menacing looking one, but his hands and a lot of his orifices are covered in soot, which is funny, as the rider, the chariot's picking up speed, and the driver just kind of looks back. You see him beginning to here, you recognize this as he's casting prestidigitation in order to clean his construct off. How did I miss that spot?
I would also say when we passed the one that was holding out things for people to pay for, like they were holding out free sample style, but people are actually paying. When he saw that, when he saw that, Hero would have 100% created his unseen servant to grab one, pass it to itself, and then pass it to him at the back of the cart before anyone could notice.
Samples for sweet rolls! Samples for sweet rolls! He begins to turn away for a little bit, and
yeah, no,
you just see all these small samples of sweet rolls being passed out for the party.
Yeah.
I just sweet roll.
Oh, Andrew, go take one.
He gets one for every consuming member of the party.
Yeah, as you look at these sweet rolls, you know, they're like a small bun. They've got a little bit of a honey glaze to them, and you see it looks like there is some sort of filling that's on the inside of them. And as you go to take a bite into them, interesting. It's like The best way I can describe it is like the consistency of a custard donut.
Ooh.
He's gonna look to Vandry and go, "You'd be surprised how many wizards think that the spell's a trifle and not useful for anything." As he says, giving you the implication of he could have done that even if even those samples weren't free.
And you look as you finish having your unseen servant pass out the samples, you look up further down the block and you see marching with sheer precision, making their way down the block, you see another contingent of bridge keepers as they're seemingly making a patrol down this block. And you all eventually see them as they manage to pass your cart as you make your way further down the street.
Seeing that, Hero will hide a bit deeper in the wagon, because whenever law enforcement's around, he likes to make himself very scarce. But it also depends on how close to the church the Bridge Guard are. I'm pretty sure Talos is a fairly religious neutral city.
Let's see. Just double check my notes real quick.
That's just me assuming from my typical modern fantasy knowledge.
I guess you can make either a history or a religion check.
That's always going to be history for him. Because religion's
Yep.
not bad. Surprising, only a 12.
Well, while you're aware of, like, various people may worship the Law brand, or maybe follow its tenets, the Solaria Church doesn't necessarily have a large presence within Talos.
Would make sense why Hero would come through here, but then probably leave very quickly, considering this seems to be one of the only places where people actually kept knowledge to the point that it actually advanced. So, yeah, he's pretty sure a naturally regressive institution wouldn't have a big hold here. But, yeah, let's continue to get to the... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, out of curiosity, on our way here, Zero would have absolutely tried to approach other constructs and like interact with them. Just do not stop on every little one of them. Just a quick summary of how that went.
Okay. Which construct did you want to approach? There was the ballerina, there was the vendor.
Pretty much, again, like I don't want to just, but they would have approached all of them. Like it's been a while since, like they've met so many other constructs in one place.
Yeah, you make your way forward and you take a look at the ballerina for a little bit, and as you just stare at them for a while, they just seem to repeat the motion ad infinitum. It seems like they just pirouette, 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 pirouette.
Oh, but if spoken to them, do they not interact at all?
What do you say to them?
Again, like Zero is very much enamored with the fact that there are other constructs here. And Zero would move forward and it's like, "Hello, my name is Zero. Which denomination do you follow?"
As you ask the ballerina, it continues to pirouette in place. Oddly enough, not seeming to acknowledge you.
Ah, monotask. Well, that is not disappointing. I will leave you to your task and move to the next one. And again, just to make it quick, like Zero would pretty much bother every construct on the way.
As you approach the vendor, as you approach the vendor construct, it looks at you and it extends its hand forward. Custard roll. Sample.
I appreciate the gesture, but I do not need to consume food. What is your name? I am Zero.
Oh. Well. This is my little, patisserie unit. As, a nice little dwarf woman, rather rotund as she's offering up all of the various samples. I just call her Sweetie.
Oh. Are they either built to fulfill one single purpose, or are they like more varied kind of automaton?
Oh, this one, it's kind of a general, basic function sort of automaton, as she just kind of looks up at you. Huh. I mean, it can lift things, it can hand out donuts. Rather basic. Huh.
iRobot is just asking a lady about her Roomba.
What is?
That is perfectly fine as long they are fulfilling the purpose they were made for. That is admirable. And Zero will give both of them a thumbs up. I will not take more of your time, and keep moving.
Oh, well. Thanks for stopping by. Enjoy your stay in the City of Bridges. If you do want more, I bake fresh daily.
I will tell that to the people who eat.
Meanwhile,
As you walk away, you just look at her. It's just like, such a nice purse. Acknowledging me. She just kind of perks herself up a little bit. It's like, right, I need to cut more samples.
I was about to say, while this is going on, like, for each interaction, Hero is sitting at the back of the cart, just watching how they're going, and he's just gauging Zero's mood as he meets more and more constructs that are very much not like him.
Still you see optimism on their walk, but it fades somewhat to the initial excitement.
He'll wait till we get to our, accommodations before he probably has a talk with him.
All right. As you make your way on down, a couple of side streets, and you see there's a... Considering how pristine a lot of the streets have been within Talus, as you're making your way out down, a slightly faded yellow establishment greets you as you look and you see there's a simple-looking metallic sign that you see a cup of ale dangling off of the side of a gear, and you see with two peg hooks hanging from the underside of it, you see the words, the Groggy Gear. Alright, well, here's the Groggy Gear.
I'll leave it to you. I'll leave it to you two to handle getting accommodations settled. I'll go help with Zero. As he says this, he kind of hops out of the cart and heads towards his friend and lets you guys handle that stuff.
Alright. Yep, as he kind of looks around. Right, stables are just around the corner right here. Alright. As he just kind of... just begins to make his way around the corner as everybody just... Oh, hold on. Oh. Actually, would you mind watching my horse for me? I'll go inside and talk to the barkeep myself.
Sure thing.
I wonder if anyone broke it to Erwin that for this entire trip we only need one room for our entire party. Which will just involve a lot of us being in a cramped room with one bed that Ava takes up for 8 hours a day.
She needs her beauty sleep.
I think we actually said it last episode, but yeah, the rest of the group is just standing over you. Skill issue.
Hero's in one corner, just lean, resting. Patrick's just trancing in another corner. Zero's just hunched down in sentry mode, and then you just have Ava, like Sleeping Beauty, in the bed in the middle.
In full set of armor, I am monitoring your sleeping. Your circadian rhythm seems to be stable. Good.
You do not seem to have. You do not seem to have an issue with sleep apnea.
I detected a momentary spike in your heart rate. Is everything okay?
But yeah, I'll let Ava or Vandry handle some stuff because I feel like Zero and Hero kind of taking up a lot of the screen time so far.
Yeah.
All right.
So what do the gals do?
Well, have we got our room sorted out then?
Erwin is just ducking inside to talk to the innkeep and try to get room squared away at this point.
Okay.
After a couple of minutes, he'll eventually make his way out. Alright, well, managed to get 2 rooms set up. One for me, one for you. As much as it is traveling on the road, I do enjoy a little solo time myself. But he goes in and he tosses the key towards you, Ava.
All right, she'll catch it. Say, oh, thanks. I'll make sure to keep watch on this.
Alright, you're in room number 12, and I'm in room 14.
Now here's a question. What? Here's one question above Game Milla. Since Talos is the most technically advanced place in Lawbrand and whatever, have they mastered the art of making flat keys yet, or do we still have traditional, like, ye olde big keys for keyholes?
Well, these keys are admittedly a lot more streamlined. Which, they do not look like your traditional Victorian-style keys like you use in Sargrad. These ones are a lot more streamlined. You know, akin to more like modern keys.
At which point, like, Hero will probably have to remember that, and you'll just... I would say Vandry, who's probably got the highest passive next to him, will just hear a click of the tongue and just go, keyholes are out in the city, I forgot.
Well, they'll still be good with a good lockpick.
Yes, but my invisible friend is not very bright and not very dexterous.
But isn't that why you have me?
I have you so the horrible organization we're indebted to does not kill me and try to disassemble Zero. Everything else is a bonus.
Actually, is there like a place that's relatively nearby that I can like buy thieves' tools, or do I have any? Yeah, I've actually got some thieves' tools.
Yeah, you get them when
yeah,
so rogue.
Yeah, so Vandry will just kind of pull out thieves' tools. It's like, don't worry, I got these.
All right, well, it sounded like you know your way around the city, and Zero probably has a lot of places he wants to go. Meanwhile, I'll just be on the lookout for potential ways to make money. You'll see as he just
Oh, I can make us some money here, definitely.
you'll just watch as he pats the like point on his coat where you saw he put all the fake promissory notes.
Uh, actually,
All right.
is there like a fight pit area in this city, or?
Roll a history check for me, Vandry.
Ooh, it's 10.
Not that you have heard about.
Hmm.
But yeah, as you guys go and as you've got your keys real quick, actually, I think this is actually a good time to take a quick bio break.
Sounds great.
Alrighty.
That's cool with me.
I'll let
Yep,
you guys.
that sounds good with me. Citric just had like his internet die for a second, so that's actually a good time for a break.
No,
Alright.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bio time.
I'll let you guys go first because I'll also explain the chat the issue from before and also possibly help any streamers who are listening to this who might have this problem in the future. But yeah, hey guys, sorry for earlier, and also Robot has no context for this, but funny story. It turns out even though I have not actually gone ahead and updated my stream elements for my OBS plugins, turns out Stream Elements still decided to give me one of its newest features that they decided to push out, which is chat notifications. Specifically sound effect notifications for if chat has not moved within a certain threshold of time. So, for D&D streams where we're not having a ton of interaction with chat, that means that, again, if no one talks in chat for a minute, it'll make a sound whenever the first person chats. I had to turn that off live while we were having roleplay, so that was fun. But yes, if you stream or have a friend that's a streamer and you know they use stream elements for alerts and other such things, let them know, because then they can disable it by just going into stream elements and clicking chat box, and then looking down to where it now says notifications. Ah, you're a good robot. And thank you for the consideration. I know Bubba was just trying to be helpful, and then we couldn't figure out what was even happening. But yeah, no, this has been so far. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just want to say it'd be like that sometimes with all of the streaming tech.
Oh yeah, no, I have to go re-enable actual like streamer mode now in Discord. All the stuff I forgot because I was just trying to get the one thing fixed. Like I had to I tried turning off all of my notifications like permanently on Discord. Here we go. Okay, that's back to fixed. Now do stream mode.
But yeah, I hope everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, no, I actually like that we're getting a really good lore episode after 2 episodes of the group finding themselves in their dynamic. Which I hope we can get to do more of that, but also, I think we both know that you and me are going to have a scene where we're going to explore our dynamic and we're just wanting everyone else to have time to play.
I'm just really sorry that we are now in a town that is specifically what my character is interested in, and it's like, oh no.
Yeah, I know. We're the two people who fear about over talking and stealing everyone else's time at the table. We're the worst for this town.
Yeah.
That said, I still want the rest of the group, especially since Roso's never had a chance to get his Citric moment, where, oh no, all the best roleplay we just had in the session was between me and Citric.
One, you are exaggerating things. Second, that was a Humphrey thing. I don't think you're going to have much talk with Zero. Zero is not a very good listener.
And yet, having someone with both the childlike wonder, but also the pedantic focus of Zero, I think that's going to lend to a lot of character interactions that'll probably go well.
We'll have to see.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, we're basically 2 parents looking after 2 kids.
Yeah, which is why Hero drinks so much.
We have a good balance.
He was a single father for so long. Now he's got a quiet kid. He's just like, okay, you need to not... listen, honey, I love you, but you need to stop doing that very special thing that I love about you. I want to explore. I want to see it grow. Stop doing it in public where people might think you're a witch and burn you at the stake. Can you, please? Do this for mommy? Also just realized that also means that we have at least one helicopter parent in the dynamic between Hero and Zero. And the irony, the helicopter is not the construct.
I mean, not yet. Let me get fly.
Actually, I might be able to get fly. I need to remember if Warlocks get that.
I absolutely get fly.
I mean, yeah, but you also don't get fly until, like, 12th level?
Let me check that.
Yeah, I'm always so bad at the half-caster, like, when they get stuff. Oh, Bubba, I think you misunderstand. This is entirely on the spectrum party. It's just where on the spectrum we are.
Also depends, like, what specific spectrum we're talking about as well.
Yeah. Like, so much about Hero has changed in the 3 sessions we played him. He was originally going to be a disaster anxiety child who's just really, really wants people to actually give a shit about history. And now he's turned into, he's primarily a con man, but his entire goal is, I just want to preserve history. But a man's got to eat, and a man's got to do his job, so... sometimes you got to cut a motherfucker.
How to turn Walter White into Heisenberg in the space of 1 episode.
Well, he was kind of already Walter Whiting in how he was, like, okay with breaking the law. It's just that he never had to murder anyone. He's very much, if nobody gets hurt, great. But, he's also at the point now where, again, like I said, quoting fucking Lawrence Fishburne from John Wick 3, sometimes you gotta cut a motherfucker. Also, I may have given Milla something great for when we get to Baker. I was like, wait a second, I know exactly what crime he could have done in Baker. Or at least what he's wanted for. So that's a little
Also,
fun grenade that I get to hold until we get there.
Also, to answer your question from before, it's at level 9.
Level 9? Oh. Oh yeah, that's about when we get 5th level spells, so yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because in 2 levels you get extra attack.
Yep.
I would love to see your opinion. Like, remind me someday to show you. Because I had to stat out Daedalus' parents, because there's always a chance that characters will be brought in. But because of certain things, they have to be very high-level characters, which would make also his siblings very high-level in regards to the party.
I thought you were going to say their siblings very hot.
What?
I thought you were going to say their siblings very hot.
I mean, they come from an all-elf family, so statistically, yes, they are all attractive, and they are also being drawn by flustered bun, which means they're all going to have bedroom eyes. But what I meant to say is,
As they should.
His father is an armor artificer, so I would love to see your response to his sheet, the amount of things he took, and how you would think he plays. Yeah, because he's a 17th level artificer.
You can do a lot with that.
Oh, yeah, no, like, actually, if I'm being honest, if ever those sheets needed to be used, I'd possibly talk to Frost about Citric can play my dad. The fact that no one else has his accent, nobody addresses. Not even his mom. Which is hilarious because typically you always give Drow an accent if you're going to give an elf an accent.
What you mean to say that? Go ahead.
Oh, don't let me just type it stuff in the background for Vaughn.
Which I am pinning now. Oh, I love the name.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that.
Welcome back.
I will give you the better alias, okay?
Okay, sure,
It's-
sure.
So, fun fact, chat. Because of how much of a con man my character is, I had to make a specific tab in our Discord to keep track of all of the names that I'm going to use for aliases and associates of those aliases based on one specific thing that only my friends would know about me. So, when it comes up, you'll know what's happening. You just won't know fully from where until I explain at the end.
Gotcha.
I've also specifically made so only I and Milla can see inside this. Like, that one particular area. So no one knows if my character's just gonna immediately be like, okay, I'm using an alias and I'm bringing you two into it, so here's 2 aliases for you! Just so that way they can just react, because most likely people who are going to be, like, pulled into his antics are going to be Ava and they're going to be Zero.
To be fair, I am the walking shield. You kinda need me around.
Yes, but you're also honest to a fault. So if he's bringing you in on a con, he's basically the whole reason you have an alias is if he's going to start calling you something different, that's his quick sign of we are doing something illegal. No one will get hurt. Someone will be tricked. We need to do this.
All I'm saying is that you cannot casually wear a you cannot casually wear a good Kevlar vest.
To be fair, I'm a warlock who once a day can gets to choose a first level warlock spell he can. I can casually hide Armor of Agathis, so your point is moot.
Fair enough.
Which I need to check and see what spell I had. I actually didn't pick a spell today for what I was supposed to have prepared, so I had it on Comprehend Language. You know what? We were going into a city. We were within range of a city. Actually, no, Comprehend Language would work because while we haven't interacted with any yet, this setting might have a considerable amount of setting-specific races that we just haven't met yet. And they all have their own languages, each one of them. None of which my character knows. Because for specific
To be
reasons...
fair, we did meet a Salamar on the first session, yes.
Second session, but yes, you're right.
No, first.
Oh yeah, you're right, because that's how we got into the position where we're now indebted to the mob.
Uh-huh.
But yeah,
We're
no.
not indebted. We took a job.
According to Vandrew, we're indebted.
We took a job that we couldn't refuse.
Most people would call that debt, Zero.
Sounds oppressing. I do not like it.
I know, that's typically how everything is with the mob. We also covered in character that we do not know certain parties might have a strong connection or leadership of this mafia. Not even the person that works for it. When we find that out, that'll be hilarious.
But on the note of the game, I believe we are all back, aren't we?
I am.
I'm here.
Yep, I'm all set.
Okie dokie.
All right. All right. As Erwin hands you off the keys, heads off the key, Ava, he's gonna look around. He's like, right, well, got use some stables around back. Just give me a moment. I should be all right for a little bit, but if you guys want to go and, fuck off for a little bit, I think we're gonna go inside having some drinks. I think a bond was actually, or a group of bonds was actually setting up something tonight.
Is there going to be
Ooh.
some kind of an event in the city?
Oh no, I'm just talking about inside the groggy gear.
Any specific band?
Huh. Hmm. He thinks about it for a little bit. It's like, yeah, I saw a poster nailed on the inside. I think it's looks like some ironcore band named Pie Scott Fish.
I'm more into pop. More into post-pop punk, but anything's better than old music. As I'm sure only. Actually, no. Who wants to roll a perception to hear the slip he almost made?
Zero wouldn't have got it, so I'm not rolling.
That probably would have went over Ava's head, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I might want to ask the band about something, but it depends on what kind of music that they're playing.
Well, this is for the conversation for everybody that's currently outside of the groggy gear. I guess that depends. Did you want to go inside and talk with them, Vandry?
Well, Vandry was kind of asking that question out loud as they were kind of heading in, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you do see, yeah, there's another large wagon that's kind of parked outside, and yeah, you see painted on the side of it, you do see the word Pie Scoff Fish painted on the side of the wagon, and you see a group of 5 dwarves are actually carrying a bunch of various instruments. Looking like a lot of drums, and oddly enough, as they're making their way around, you see one of them eventually hocking out an anvil. And a few of them managed to pick up some mandolins and begin to make their way inside as well. And oddly enough, they're making a few more trips outside for various pieces of the drums that were there.
Oh, so this is like your rock band drum kit.
Yeah, for all intents and purposes, kind of similar. They've got some steel drums, they've got some higher tops, they've got some cymbals. What really strikes you, though, is that they actually have an anvil that they're using, too, and they've got some hammers and a couple of smaller drumsticks that they're using for all the work that they've got set up for that as well. So, but yeah,
Is there any one of them like looking like a singer?
as you're kind of looking over these 5 dwarves, you see, the best way to describe it. One of them is wearing a helmet that has several spikes coming off of it. Another one looks like he has like stag's antlers that is kind of pressed into his helmet. You see another one that looks like he's wearing a helmet that looks like it has a skull painted on it. And another one that pretty much looks like he has a wooden fish that is basically like its back is arched as it's like jumping out of water, which is basically mounted at the top of his helmet. And then you see another dwarf that's just shaved bald, or has a bald-shaved head. The one with spikes on his helmet looks like I guess roll an insight check to see if you guys attain who looks like they're the singer.
I am proficient in insight.
Passive insight's 18. Well, actually, no. Passive investigation's 18, so can I use that?
I got an 18 on my insight.
I can let you. Let's see, passive investigation with them. I'll get to that in a second, hero. For your insight, Vandry. Yeah, it looks like the one that's wearing the spiked helmet. Definitely seems like he's the one that's in charge. Like he's the front man.
Vandry would kind of give a nod to the others and kind of approach this particular dwarf and be like, "Excuse me, I hope I'm not interrupting."
I was like, oh. Well, maybe a little bit. We're trying to set up for tonight, if you don't mind. Ugh. Oh, come on, Rarb. That should be all right. Come on. You gotta think he's taking a little bit of a smoke break. Yeah, you know what, guys? Fine.
I was kind of wondering, from one musician to another, what the sort of hubbub around, other musicians has been.
What, you mean like he's the one who's identified as Rarb? He just kind of looks at you like, in general, or just?
Yeah, just in general, kind of any notable acts I should be aware of. I'm kind of looking for a very specific one, but having a little bit of a hard time tracking it down.
Let's see. Well, I mean, you got us for Pycott fish. Well, you say we're not good enough for you? He just kind of jabs you slightly in the ribs.
I'm kind of looking for misbegotten.
Misbegotten? You just kind of... As Robert kind of thinks about that, misbegotten. God.
She tends to do macabre music.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I was just trying to pinpoint where her last gig was that I heard. Well, I thought about a month ago I heard that she was at Tides Far. Well, yeah, that's true, but where was she gone after that? He thinks about it for a little bit. Not in Leetson, what? I thought that she... Didn't I hear that she was doing a stint over in Leetson? Maybe. I don't know, we're just kind of busy paying attention to our own thing.
No, that's fair enough. I'm kind of a bit of a budding musician myself, bit of a singer, kind of maybe wanting to get in on, prove myself to her.
Well, get in line. We're all trying to cut our way and trying to make music in this world.
True. Need a backup singer? Or you good?
Well, we appreciate it, but that's what Janish and Jerk are there for. And he just kind of points at the bald dwarf who currently has a kind of like a white scarf bandana tied over his head. And then you've got Moik over there, and he points at the dwarf who's got the antler or stag antler helmet. And at this point, kind of looks over. Hey, Alex, where are you at? You see the dwarf that basically has the fish on top of his head.
Mhm.
Kind of saunters around with a giant gong. Oh, hold on! I'm trying to get this out here. He's just kind of saunters away. Hey, careful with that! That cost us 500 gold. All right, let's see. As Alex tries
500 gold. That's quite expensive.
Yeah, it's quite the investment. There's only one. We only use it for the one song. Alex eventually chimes in with. Yeah, but it's the most important aspect of our song. Die a lot.
Wait, is the song called Die a Lot?
Yeah, it's our patron song. Die a lot.
That was kind of out of character, but okay, I'll take that in character interaction as well.
Meanwhile, Hero hears the phrase patron and is immediately like, okay, all my senses are on this conversation now. Because he's looking at these guys, he's like, he's only met like one other, like, canonical warlock, and that person was the in-setting universe specific warlock. These people don't seem as crazy and or bloodthirsty.
Don't know about the second one.
Well, I'll definitely be sticking around for the performance then. Still, though, I've heard tell there's like some musical instruments out there that are like really good as well.
Oh, dude, yeah. Yeah, if you could get a really good mandolin going. Gotta get that tuned in, maybe throw in the thaumaturgy stone on it. You gotta get it dialed in just right in order to kind of give it a nice little ring to it, you know? As you kind of look at the mandolins that they have, embedded in each of them is a small crystal that looks like it has a knob that's next to it.
Yeah. I've heard tale of something called the Blazing Lute.
Blazing Lute.
Yeah, apparently it's when you play it, fire erupts. And it gets hotter every, the longer you play it, it gets hotter. It is a very specific item in this setting. I had to look it up, and I'm like, ooh, that would be really awesome. Because it's kind of like, imagine that sort of flaming guitar from Mad Max.
Yeah, the guy on top of the rig.
Oh, yeah, I think... As far as I know, it's like... I'm gonna roll for Rorm to see if he knows about it. Oh, yeah, Magnan Rocksteady's got one. From Worm Rider.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Could you write that down for me? So, because I'm going to be taking that down as notes.
All right, yeah, I'll go ahead and jot those down. Oh,
So
yeah, we've done a couple of gigs with them. We kind of opened them. We've opened from them a couple times, but
So, did they get like the Blazing Lute like specially made, or was it like something only very specific for them?
I'm not sure. He bothers him off for a little bit. I think some benefactor gifted it to him, if I recall correctly.
Man, I wish I could get one of those. Well, I won't keep you for much longer. Thank you very much for the time. I very much appreciate it. And I'll definitely see the show.
All right. Well, good to see you. And I never caught your name.
Vandry.
Vandry. He'll extend a nod to you.
Yep,
All right,
Vandry
well,
will not back.
Well, still gotta get a couple more hours. We gotta do a sound check before we get this rigged up. But all right. Hey, Lex. What? You still need to get that hi-hat out there. I'm doing everything I can with everything else here. I'm not just a goddamn roadie, you know.
Yeah, with that, Vandry is gonna like walk in to the groggy gear.
Like they were already in the groggy gear. I think you're walking out.
Yeah, you've all
Oh,
been
no,
basically like right outside the front as Pie Scott Fish have been floating their instruments.
Yeah, so Vandry would be walking fully inside the bar now.
All right, yeah, you see it's a decently sized best vibe you can kind of give it is more like an industrial biker bar kind of vibe to it. You see there's lots of gears kind of plastered all over the walls. The tables all have kind of cogs that are just kind of sticking out from like the circular part of like the standing tables. You also have a very long and impressive bar that's, as you kind of make your way up towards it, yeah, you see there's like various tools and stuff that's been kind of lacquered into the bar top. Spatters, screwdrivers. Oddly enough, you do see a large gear at the one point near the end of the bar. Hanging from the ceiling, you do see there's a few winches, like chain winches that are attached to the ceiling, and hanging off of each of those are obviously leading into the gear motif. Large gears that at the end of each cog of the gear you see attached to them are electric lights. And then off at one side, you do see there are a few spotlights that are currently shining in on the stage, which is about 3 foot above like the main bar floor. And you see as Alex has been setting up the drums and the anvil and the gong that's sitting behind it, you do see a couple of stands and some of the mandolins are currently sitting on the stage as well. As you see, there are a few patrons that are having some supper and starting to get their drinks going. Ale's flowing quite a plenty tonight.
Feeling cozy already.
All right. I guess what do you want to do as the stage is continuing to get set up?
Oh, Vandry's gonna get a drink.
We have our room already, right?
Yep, you do.
Still thinks for a moment about like leaving the armor here, but seeing that they not being like pursued by anyone at the moment, like they will keep the armor on themselves.
Now comes the question.
Time of the day is still early, right? Or is it late?
It's dusk at this point.
Then Zero looks at the group. I wish to see these Tinker's Row.
Okay, but first,
We're in Tinker's Row. Or are you talking about the whole up and down the thing?
Yes, I wish to speak with the different manufacturers here. I want to see what kind of wares they have, what kind of technology they have access to.
That's fine, but I first like to check something real quick here. What do
What
you
do
say?
you need?
Just looks to Vandry. What'd they say our room number was? Above gate.
Looks
Noah?
at Ava. Ava has the
Oh
key.
yeah.
Yes. She would hold up the key. It's like, I got it right here.
Number
Does it-
12.
All right. Goes into the bar, which is also the inn, and goes to look. Is room number 12 on the first or second floor?
You see a portly human who's currently behind the bar. Pepper gray mutton chops, bald hair, just kind of looks at you. Oh, yeah, just around the corner, over that way. And he just kind of, as you're walking in the bar, he just points towards his right.
Do I find a
First
pair
floor is...
Okay, first floor. I'm waiting for the moment where someone gives us a second floor room, because at that point it's going to be Zero. We're sleeping in the barn again.
Crunch, 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 crunch.
Just go.
Serpent breaks through the floor.
Yeah, no.
Hello, I am here now.
For a completely different reason, the robot can't handle stairs.
Yes, the reverse of Ed 209.
Well, no, any form of stairs, because well, he couldn't go down or up them. Well, actually, no, he could go up. He couldn't go down. The problem is the stairs will not function with him. But yeah. He's like, no, that's fine. I can go down Tanker's Row with him. Is there anything I need to know, since you're the only one who really knows that I didn't spend a lot of time here when I was last?
Oh, you're asking the barkeep?
No, he's asking Vandry, because Vandry's the only person in the party that's been here besides him, or at least knows enough about the place.
What would I know?
Let's see. Make another history check for me.
Ooh, that's a 4. Unfortunately for this particular round.
Well, considering how late it might be, you're not sure if
Yeah, I
Tinker's
think
Row
that,
is open.
I think most of the stores, the daytime stores, are going to be closed. And plus, if everyone's going to be coming here for a concert, then chances are everyone's going to be shutting up shop. So, I mean, you can always go tomorrow.
I see no issue with this. I will go tomorrow then.
And if I'm going to be honest with how many different inventors and tinkers are in this town, I'm pretty sure most people just forget the band's here if they see you because they'll want to talk shop. Also, that's the first dwarven band I've seen in 6 months that does not have a dedicated cowbell player.
You can always use more cobble.
That's what they keep telling me. They never explained why. It's something that just became popular over the last 500 years. I can't find any historical document or text about it. It's just a thing now. I have no strong feelings against it. It's just confusing.
You do sound like you have some strong feelings about it.
I have strong feelings about not knowing why it became a thing.
And why do you say you have none?
Because I don't have a problem with it in the music. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. That's just something that happens with music. I just want to know why it's there. Why it has to be a single person instead of just the drummer. No one will ever give me any context. They'll just be like, no, it's all about the sound. That's subjective, my friend. I want to know the actual fact.
In that case, it seems like you need to ask about it.
I have! There's never an answer given. 6 months. You were there for the last 3 of it.
Was I? I may have not been paying attention.
I mean, yeah, we don't go out to a lot of music. It's basically when it happens around us. But it's been a thing.
I will try to pay more attention next time then.
True, but again, music is subjective, and if you're not that interested in it, you don't really have to focus on it. This is just more of a cultural thing, because again, it's only dwarven artists. I don't know why. Sometimes in human bands, even like some other performances I've seen with mixed racial like bands, they'll have a cowbell. It's usually just a drummer playing it. And again, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Just don't know why dwarves think it needs to be a single person job.
Maybe that's just how it's always been.
As you make that comment, you just kind of see Alex has grabbed a couple other things at this point. He has a wooden block. And of course, hanging from his neck, the last thing that you see, he is carrying a cowbell.
Now see him full-on drummer. He's the first full-on dwarven drummer that uses a cowbell, and not just one guy who stands behind the lead singer and does it when it is deemed appropriate. I just want to know, 500 years wasn't a thing. Suddenly, now, a thing. Can't find any record of why. Was it really successful for one band? Was it a cultural thing? Did it happen after the calamity? I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about calamities with cowbells? As Alex just kind of chimes in for a second.
Immediately notebook out, pin drawn, uncomfortably close. Please elaborate.
Well, I'm not sure, but I heard rumor that there was supposedly some cowbell that if you rang it enough times, it would cause ruin to whoever rang it. Not sure how true that is, but I've just heard some other people talk about it.
Now, here's a question. Was this knowledge that could have possibly been known by a high elf 500 years ago before the Exodus?
That is a very good question. Let me double check.
Yeah. Vandry's just going to be drinking whatever they've ordered as this goes on.
Yeah, you're now seeing, you're seeing Herodotus at this point at semi-different levels of activation.
I guess make an Arcana check.
Oh boy. Good thing I have expertise in that. I should have said nothing. I should have said nothing. I'm aggressively angry that I said anything, because that's a fucking 8!
Wah, wah.
That's 23 on the other side, though.
Yes, that means I literally rolled a 2.
Yep.
So I'm guessing high elves didn't really prioritize dwarven rock music, because at this point we're talking about full heavy metal, so we've moved past both grunge, rockabilly, and I've established moved past regular punk to post-pop punk.
Well, yeah, well, go ahead and, I guess make, let's see, would this be, yeah, one more history check as far as, let's see how versed you are with your genres of music that the youths have nowadays.
That's a nat 24.
24. Yes. This is the type of check that I could get behind. Recently nowadays, there are 6 types of music that tend to make their way around the lands of Lawbrand. You have your traditional bardic fare, which is, your classic ballads and carols, while the bards play multiple instruments. You have ether skip, where musicians will use pipe instruments, drums, woodwinds to create rhythmic, hypnotic music. That's basically their take on dance music. And then you have as Pie-Scoffish make their way into the room, they have Ironcore, which is large thundering rhythms with steel drums, heavy percussion, along with frenzied mandolins. So
basically thrash metal.
Yep.
I love steel drums so much.
That just reminds me of
You
something.
have her.
Can I just interject one small bit of comedy?
Sure.
So there's the game I've been playing while waiting to hear back from job applications has been Mass Effect Andromeda, and there's one joke where they say Turian classical music is just like throwing a box of tools down a stairs. And they're like, yeah, that's just good music. That's what I imagine Ironcore is.
Yeah. You also have your shock bards, which are basically like your comedic. They use callous humor in their every subject matter in their lyrics and poetry. They draw enthusiastic crowds, but are often ostracized by the more respectable event promoters. So, yeah, that's about the best way that I can describe that. You have Sideweave, which basically is one of the more popular genres. I guess that's like the closest to down-to-earth street life and earnest, gritty, everyday music. So, kind of like modern, not quite country, not quite classic rock.
So that's rockabilly.
Yeah. And then you have Macabria, which is basically your melancholy music and poetry and poetic body motion, which produces beautiful yet haunting avant-garde performances. So basically, if you had like a take on like Alice Cooper-esque performances.
I was gonna go with Alanis Morissette, but okay.
Oh, that's Morissette, yeah.
Or if you want to get really edgy, Evanescence.
But yeah.
So yeah, that's
I know
how
plenty-
well versed your music take is.
Yeah, I know plenty about music. Again, a flavor thing I'm kind of pointing out there is that something that he has liked since having left the Exodus, he very much enjoys music, having only had one type of music for the better part of his entire life. But apparently, still, this is the first and closest inclination of anything about the single cowbell player in every band. So he is writing it down furiously, just trying to like ask more questions of, please, explain. Okay, how much can you tell me? How much can I reference somewhere else, please? You're my first lead.
As Alex just kind of chimes in. I think I've heard tale of it called Bessie something, and he's bothers about it a little bit. Supposedly, if you ring it, it's supposed to bring ruin to whoever it does, but that's about as much as I've known about it.
Fair enough. It's the first answer anyone's ever given me. Thank you, and I hope you have a lovely performance. He's going to walk back to the bar, order like just a finger of whiskey, and be like, okay. We'll go out and check the town first. Just let me have this, okay? Just let me have this. He's just saying it's zero.
We are going to stay here for the night. Apparently, the shops won't be open till the morning.
Oh yeah, no, they told us that. I totally forgot. It's again, I zeroed in there for a second. So yes, thank you.
No, I'm zero, and I'm here.
You zeroed in on zero.
Okay. At that point, he just goes, okay, forget that. Make that a triple.
Coming right up.
It's like, Ava, why don't you sit down? You've been on your feet all day.
Oh yeah, good idea.
What about you, Eva?
Walk down to the seat.
Yeah. I love that Ava's constantly just in a mood of happy to be here in the background.
I just think this is neat.
What about you, Eva? Anything you want to do?
I always like browsing around and going shopping, so I'll be excited to do that tomorrow. She's like rubbing her hands together.
Yeah, I very much look forward to see what kind of technology do they have here. Anything that can even be close to the things I've studied would be fascinating. Haven't had much luck coming across that level of advancement, though.
Yeah, maybe a little later we can step out during the performance. I can tell you everything I have from coming through here. Again, it never came up while we were traveling together. I can give you at least the broad strokes of what I remember. I was here for like 2-3 days.
That would be appreciated, yes.
Yeah. He says at that point, he like the energy's gone. There's something that Zero's not gonna pick up on, but it's like a little wistful note before he just immediately was just like, taking a drink and not saying a thing.
All right. Eventually, more of the patrons begin to file in, and man, started to really turn into standing room only as everybody else is beginning to file in, and eventually you see the stage lights kind of go dark, and then you just kind of hear the voice of Rarb chime out. Piescoffish. And then you hear the rest of the doors chime in. Pieso. Oh, God, never mind. I botched it. God, I'm going to go hide in the corner now. Oh, my God.
No.
Oh shit! You have to call.
No one clipped that. Let him have this.
Piescoffish. That's how you spell our name. Get it fucking right, or we'll burn down your bar. And you hear everybody just roaring with raucous applause. Everybody's just got his chants. Pie Scarfish! Pie Scarfish! Pie Scarfish! And then they eventually begin to break into their set. And you just hear, as the anvil and the drums begin to ring out, their mandolins begin to strum with just furious fervor as they begin to perform their hit single, Die a Lot.
Ooh.
Oh my God, I'm sorry, something else just got popped up. I'm just like, but yeah, as the night's performing, Skelly, roll a d8 for me.
Okay, you got it. Cool.
A 1.
Oh.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Are we gonna start?
Hold on,
Are we gonna be part of another bar fight?
Yeah, apparently the music's kind of sounding a little bit off tonight as their performance continues. The patrons are kind of starting to boo Pie Scarfish. Boo!
Oh, no.
You suck! Get off the stage! And all of a sudden, oh no. All of a sudden, you see people standing up and they kind of start to shove at each other in front of the stage. Let's see. Hero, make a dex save for me.
Oh fuck.
And the man in the back said, "Everyone attack and it turned into a ballroom blitz."
Yeah, that's a 2. I'm pretty sure I'm getting glassed.
Yeah, you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage as a glass bottle strikes your head as the trident begins to break out.
Okay, alright, who did that? Just turn around, pulling out the wand. No. Violence. Someone chose violence today.
Yeah! You see a drunk human with another glass bottle in his hand. It's like, oh, you wanna fucking go? All right. At this point, we're gonna play this out as theater of the mind, as I'm gonna need you guys to roll initiative.
Okay, we are
All right.
we are 2 for 3 for bar fights. You're gonna need to start making maps for every bar we go into.
Vandry's got that tired look and just sighs. Be like, okay, fine. Down the
Ava's
shot,
like,
goes back
"Yay!"
into the fight.
Of course, Ava will want this bar fight. Yay!
I'll say this above game. Unlike the last bar fight, my character's aware no one is trying to kill him, so he's going to do his spells non-lethally. But he's going to fuck some people up if they're trying to fuck him up.
Steven just looks at Vandry and confused, like, isn't this how every bar night is supposed to go?
I also we've rolled 2 nat 1s on initiative. Let's see how we do.
Oh,
Slightly
we're doing
better.
great.
Wait, did I close my... Yeah, give me a second. Close my shit by accident.
You're good.
Yeah.
Bassa, you're also going to need to start
That's
finding
me.
a dedicated bar fight music, Milla.
I have to find that one song. That one song. Hold on.
I am a dwarf and I'm digging a hole.
No, please don't.
Dig a hole.
No, please
It's
don't.
a metaphorical hole this time.
I can't have any more episodes have, like, not strikes, but copyright flags. Got, like, 3 of
Gotta
those
point
on
out,
Saved by
I am
Spell.
this...
Mhm.
Like, the biggest, lowest, heaviest person in the party goes first.
Well, you're also the one not drinking or was currently listening to something before getting glassed or taken advantage of.
True.
You're just sitting there just be like, this is a vibe. Oh, the vibe has become rancid. Oh, Lord. Bubba started a counter.
Bar fight counter! Bar fight counter! Let's go!
Saris is never
Thank
going to
you,
let me...
Bubba.
Saris is never going to let me hear the end of this when I tell them about this later. Because we went from we went from having as many bodies as a body count as many episodes to now a bar fight in almost as many episodes.
We're just raising the bar. Raising the bar.
Raising the bar.
Raising the bar.
I think that's what the band wanted to do if people didn't say their name right.
Yeah, the second bar we went to, Glizzy. Very, very chill place. We got to have a nice lot of drinking. In fact, we even manned the bar with an unseen servant. Because the barman did not ask questions after we committed a murder at a different bar. Fucking robot.
Things are so much nicer when people do not ask about the murders. It's not the murder what is the problem. It's the asking. Because then you have to take care of them.
Oh, where is it?
Yeah, in a different game, Glizzy, I literally had to have my character swear off alcohol after their first time
That's
drinking,
good.
not because of the events that happened, but because of a different character who was a canonical haha funny alcoholic, dropped the ball so many times, he's now like, no, if alcohol does this to people, I never want this to happen to me. That character's my most traumatized character.
So far.
Yes, so far, but it's also gotten to the point where now, last session was the first time I have done anything, like, intentional or otherwise, to traumatize him. His own actions traumatized him last session. And nobody died. He just almost possibly killed 100 people by trying to protect them. You know.
As you do. As you do.
Alright, we got our music.
Oh,
Do we have our initiative?
I like that.
Once I get the chat pull up again.
Oh, good. Yeah, we should have.
All right.
Oh, yeah, we didn't have characters to click, so yeah.
Alright, so we've got Zero, we've got Patrons, then we've got Fandry, then we've got Hero, and then Ava. Alright, let's go ahead and start off with Zero. You're starting to see, yeah, it's getting rather rowdy inside this bar. What do you do?
Zero just looks at everyone. It does look like anyone is going to attack them, or it's just general chaos.
General chaos. You see there's one patron that's kind of looking like he's squaring up with Hero.
Mm-hmm. Well, seeing that Hero is in is in danger, Zero will walk forward as you hear the different servos on the gauntlet start to wind up, and just booming blade on the thunder gauntlet, and just goes for a haymaker at the guy that just went at their friend. So,
all right.
Hiya. 15. Does that hit?
Yes, that does hit.
That's 5 thunder damage, and if they move, they are going to receive 1d8 of force damage.
All right.
Sorry, thunder damage. That is my action. Bonus action. I have a few things I can do. For now, that's going to be my turn, and ideally getting between this guy and Hero, as they say. You are attacking my friend. I advise you to stand down.
All right. All right, it's the patron's turn. The one that looks like he was gonna square up with Hero. He just kind of looks over here. You wanna fucking go, mate? Let's go! He goes to attempt to swing back at you, and go ahead and roll that thunder damage.
Oh, they move. Wonderful. That is 1d8. That is a 5.
You just hear a boom ring out as he stops in mid-swing, as he takes the damage. Following through on the motion, he just collapses on the floor.
I told you not to continue.
All right. Another patron. Let's see how many more patrons we got coming out of this. All right. Ava, you see a drunken dwarf woman begins to make her way out towards you, and she's got a chair, and she says she's gonna swing it at you. She misses with a nat one. Yeah, she misses with a nat one. Like, one leg slips out of her hand, she goes to swing, like, oh shit! Another one actually comes up towards you, Vandry, and misses. And then one more. Hey, that's my friend. You're hurt, buddy. As you see another human go to swing at you. Does a 16 hit? As he, boom, manages to punch you in the chest, but nothing happens. Ah, son of a, what the fuck?
As Zero looks down, Again, violence is not advised.
All right. That's it for these people this round. Vandry, it's now your turn.
Right, so action. Let me find it. Oh, it's probably my spells. Gonna do fairy fire on the crowd.
All right, let's see. How many random people do you get that's out here? Yeah,
And I will be rolling it so that it catches the audience and not us.
All right. You managed to get like, let's see. Yeah, there's like 15 or 16 people in the crowd that are currently all glowing. I just rolled a combined failed save, so they all failed.
Perfect. So then bonus action, it's going to be the person that was trying to square up to Vandry. So that's the Wraith Strike. But for this instance, she is going to take out the rapier, but she's going to like smack the guy with like sort of the hand guard for essentially non-lethal damage.
Gotcha.
So that there's a 16 hit.
That absolutely hits.
Well, it's a 21 because fairy fire.
Oh yeah,
That's
no, it's
true.
a 21. Yep, so 21 and 11 non-lethal damage or bludgeoning if you want, if that's okay.
Yeah, in a flourish, you teleport behind him. You just take the guard of your rapier. You just strike him in the temple, and he collapses in a heap in front of you.
And Vandry's going to look to the others. Don't kill him. Just knock him out. And that will be turn.
All right, Hero, it's your turn.
Because again, Elf is probably the only person that will hear it with their perception. Just be like, you killed one guy and they never let you live it down. At which point he's just going to throw out his wand, point at 4 people who look hostile, and do. Where are you, my friend?
Here's the thing. The assassin is saying, don't kill anyone.
And 4 people take 4, 7. Well, one person takes 4, another person takes 7, another person takes 5, and another person takes 4. As 4 magic missiles just sail into the guts of 4 different people who all might now be rethinking their decisions. He just yells out to the entire bar, "Come and have a go if you think you're hard enough!"
4 friends of the guy that Hero or Zero just clocked out. They look like they're ready to square up. You just take the magic missile and you just strike them in each of their stomachs. It's not enough to knock them each over outright, but it certainly is enough to bloody at least 2 of them.
But I think a few of them might start weighing their decisions. That's all. That's all Hero can do on this turn.
All right, Ava, it's your turn.
All right. Well, with that one person that came along and decided it was a good idea to attempt to swing a chair at her, Ava's just gonna try to grapple this person straight up.
All right.
So I believe
Perplexity!
that it is a contested athletics check on their end, I believe,
Okay.
or acrobatics if they're better at it.
Yep, go ahead and make your check.
That's 15 on my end.
They rolled a 5, so you beat it. You got them grappled. You got her
All right.
grappled.
So thanks to fisticuffs, since I attempted a grapple on this turn, I can bonus action unarmed strike, and I'm just gonna flavor it as just like body slamming. So let me roll that up real quick. That'll be a fisticuffs attack. That'll be a 13.
That hits. Roll damage.
8 bludgeoning.
Yeah, you just body slam her onto the floor, and she just lets out a blood-curdling scream as you just manage to slam her to the floor.
Everyone when they take their
She's
first
still
back
conscious,
bump.
but
Said everyone when they take their first back bump.
yep, yeah,
And-
pretty much.
And Ava's like, I'm helping. And that'll do it for my turn. I'm not spending any kind of moxie for extra attacks or anything like that. I just body slam.
All right. Next up is Piscoffish, as they just kind of look at each other and they're like, oh shit, god damn it. You're not blaming me for this one, Rarb, as you hear Alex chime in. Alright, fuck boys, let's get out of here. So they begin to grab their stuff and they attempt to start running out the door.
I prefer to think that you just go, all right, fuck boys, we're getting out of here.
Yeah. Alright, well that's it for Piscoffish. Back to the top of the turn order at 0.
There we go. How many are still hostile towards us?
Let's see. There's the gal that Ava is currently grappled with. There were the 4 gentlemen that Hero had magic missiled. But then there are 2 more patrons on top of that are currently starting to look hostile towards you. Oh, including the one that punched you. It was like, ow, that hurt.
Well, since that one is the one I have the closest, I just look down at them after I told them like violence is not advised, and again you hear the I have it here. Once again, you hear the gears and servos on the gauntlet start whirling as
14 hits.
hit.
Roll damage.
There we go. That's 8 thunder. With one on impact, just the boom of the power fist, as they are now charged with a with a buzzing energy around them.
For flavor, you just knocked this man on his ass. He's just. You
No,
just kind of see a streak of blood coming out from the corner of his mouth.
No, I just imagine he just walks over to someone, just puts his fist on top of their head, bonk. They just drop onto their ass.
Oh yeah, like a wood hammer ass clog.
No, give me just a second. I have it here, but in.
It's like a whirlwind
yeah,
fist that's just like right on top of the head, like a sledgehammer.
Very in culture, but in. Now, having looked at this guy, Zero will stomp their way, putting themselves in between Zero and the people that they just like provoked by throwing magic missile at, and like not like talking at you, glancing like side glancing you. You have to pick multiple at once.
You just see him bleed. You could see like blood coming from his head from where the glass hit him. And you could just see like in his head, he's just like, at this point he's sticking by what he said earlier. Someone chose violence today!
But yeah, that's my turn.
Alright, back to the patrons in the bar. I'm just gonna roll some wisdom saves real quick. Wow. Of those 4 men that you hit with the magic missiles, Hero, they definitely look like they're staring down the wrath of God.
Yeah.
And they turn around and try to make their way back through the crowd out the door.
No one decided to have a go because they didn't think they were hard enough. Yeah, stands.
Come on, man, it's not worth it. Get out of here. Pull him on Carly. If I grab him on the way out. And 2 of them will just kind of bend down to pick up the buddy that was knocked out by Zero. They managed to get about 30 feet between or 15 feet as they drag him out the door. Come on, Nix, we're going. No. This is personal. As oh, actually, no, hold on, I'm gonna roll for him too. He just kind of looks up at you, Zero, as he's kind of seeing stars at this point. He also sees the wrath of God, but unfortunately, as he gets up, go ahead and roll that DA for the booming blade.
Very well.
Just boom, 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 boom.
Hiya. That is 4 damage.
As he literally gets knocked out of his ass as the energy erupts from him from the booming blade. And this other buddy's like, shit! God damn it!
I told you to de-escalate. That is not my fault.
Unfortunately, the buddy that was standing right next to that one guy that you just knocked out swings and misses wide. He's like, leave him alone, man! What did he ever do to you? Meanwhile, the one that's currently grappled with Ava after the body slam. Let's see. Does a 17 hit? Ava?
Oh, what was that? Sorry.
17 to hit.
Oh, yes, that does hit.
You take 4 points of bludgeoning damage as she takes the chair and she hits you across the head with it.
Oh, whoa.
And she's kind of, looks like she's just kind of drunkenly swinging out at you with a chair. And then that's about it for her. Let's see. From the crowd. Two more are actually going to run up towards you, Zero, and one more is going to run up to you, Hero.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Ooh. One roll of that 20 gets you, Zero. So you take 2 bludgeoning damage.
I do have to ask though, what was the final number?
It was a natural 20 for 22.
So, what if I do a funny thing and cast shield with my reaction, bumping my AC to 27?
Oh, that's the thing. A natural 20 always hits her attacks. Even with that, though.
I was about to say, save the spell, because with our luck, next session we will still get in another fight and it'll be the same night.
Yeah, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like a critical hit always hits regardless of AC.
Yeah.
I had to look that up. I actually had to look that up. I didn't know.
Right, quick little break for me. I'll be back in a bit.
No worries.
Okay.
Yeah, if that is the case, I abide by it. Yeah, no, I hit the hit. That is 2 bludgeoning, right?
Yep.
This means we need to get you adamantite so you can do that shit.
We have incapacitated like 7 people in this bar, and all we've taken is 4 damage Actually, no. How much did you take again, Skelly?
I took 4.
4.
So yeah, we've taken a collective 8 damage across 3 martial classes and 1 caster.
Oh, did you account for the 2 damage you took at the start of the fight?
Yes,
The last bottle? Alright.
dude. I am playing the second lowest health character I have currently running. He has 25 health. 2 hit points is a significant actual damage. Like, my longest played character is also a wizard. Do you want to know his high health at level 7? 42.
The answer to all life and questions. 42.
Yeah. I'm also vamping because I know that Roso's next in the order.
Yeah. Let's see. I have one more. I do have one attack to roll against you, however. Does a 14 hit?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure my AC is 11. Let me double check. Yeah, that hits. Someone's going to get a personalized beating.
I have a question. How close is Hero to Ava, out of curiosity?
If you're all hanging out, you're within like 5-10 feet of each other.
And your what was Hero's AC?
My AC is 11.
11.
11, and it was a 14 to hit? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, never mind.
All good.
I'm back.
Welcome back. Hero, you take 2 points of bludgeoning damage.
Someone decided to have a go. They thought they're hard enough. They were mistaken.
Yes, this guy has a small billy club right next to him, and he just swings at you and hits you in the shoulder. All right, and that's it for the patrons. Back to you, Vandry.
Right, it's going to be the race strike to start with. Any particular target is going to be non-lethal. 21 to hit.
All right.
13 bludgeoning, non-lethal.
Yep, second verse, same as the first. You knock him out.
And then we're going to go with the action, which is going to go again with the rapier. So the second target. There's a 25 to hit. And 9. Non-lethal.
You managed to almost knock him out. You managed to knock a few teeth out of his mug. But he's barely standing.
Yeah. Actually, can I... Let me just check something. Oh, it has an action. Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's turn.
All right. All right, Hero.
How many people are still up?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that are still up. 1 on you, 3 or 4 on Zero, and then there's also 1 that Ava still has in her clutch,
So 6.
and 1 that plus
And 1
oh,
on Vandry.
and 1 on Vandry, so 7 total.
All right. Zero's going to look over at the dwarf fighting Ava and just go, You are on cleanup, as he then just points his wand in the opposite direction at everyone else, and second verse same as the first. Specifically the one in front of him and the ones around Zero are getting, he was going to personalize a beating, but at this point he's tired and he wants more whiskey. 66666, the number of the beast!
Oh,
Very nice.
no.
And it's
Where are
non-lethal
those missiles
damage.
going?
It's non-lethal, but he is basically putting down most of the remaining bar fight and telling this dwarf, you don't get hit because you're dragging everyone out.
Alright, so the one that was next to you takes 4. The one in front of 0.
No, they take all the 6s.
Oh, the one in front of you. Yep, you just basically just annihilate him.
Again, non-lethal. He's not trying to kill, but he is thoroughly fucking fed up.
Ha! Alright. Next up is Ava.
All right. Is the one that she's tussling with still currently up and at him?
Yes. The one you're still currently locked in with.
Okay. She's just gonna like pick up the person and then proceed to like just levy a series of like punches at her.
All right.
I thought you was going to toss him.
Toss
mean,
the dwarf! Toss the dwarf!
I mean, I maybe I could. We could try that.
Let me 1 second here.
People are weapons.
Tell me what you think about this.
I have to see this.
I will say, if people are considered improvised weapons when you're doing things like throwing them, one of the fun things about Pugilist is I'm proficient in improvised weapons.
Yes!
They also scale with my punch dice.
Throw it in the
Beat up motherfucker with another motherfucker.
I'm gonna pick her up. I'm gonna throw her at the others. Then we're gonna give this a shot since I think I still technically have her grappled.
Yep.
All right, let's try fisticuffs. Oh, that is 1 away from a crit.
A 24 absolutely hits.
All right,
Roll your damage.
for another 8.
So, you go to take this dwarf, and you basically literally toss her at the one that's in front of 0. As they just go to fly, they just collide head on, and they both knock over, and they're both down.
Ava just stands there and just like does a little bit of a flex. She feels important right now. That will do it. Well, she'll start moving over toward any of the individuals that are harassing Hero at the moment.
Well, they're harassing 0.
Hero. Oh, they're all harassing Hero. Okay.
Yep. Nero's got 3 of them in front of him.
Which I'm surprised that they managed to take 6 HP, and they're still thinking, okay, we're gonna fight Hero after also possibly some of them taking the other damage from Magic Missile. These guys are ride or die, apparently.
Hey man, when you imbue hard on that liquid courage, ain't nothing to get in your way until reality hits.
Oh, is that what we're calling Magic Missile now?
Liquid courage.
No, I was talking reality.
Oh, reality! Yeah! Alright. By Scoffish, they're gonna continue to clear their way out. 0, you've got 3 men in front of you now. What do you do?
I got 3 minutes of playtime. Yeah.
3 minutes of playtime. Ooh, yeah.
How are they looking after the damage they took from Hero?
Well, the one that was in front of you that took the damage is knocked over. So you got 3 others that are like standing up right in front of you yet. Haven't been touched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Looks at all 3 of them, Like, you have failed to see the pattern. I shall repeat this once more to make it clear. And punches the guy that it's in front of. Not the one that has been like, not the one unscathed, but the ones whichever one looks more damaged.
They're all equally, so you can take your pick. There's like left, right, and center.
Yeah, the one on the right.
All right.
Once again, booming blade applied on the thunder gauntlet. So 25 to hit
That absolutely hits.
for 9 thunder damage.
For her 9 thunder damage.
Just, again, like arm goes back as you hear the motor like loudly whirling. Boom! The loud boom as the knuckles make contact.
Oh, this one you literally knock out his ass. His ass is enough to take him down. Gadoosh! You punch him hard in the chest, you hear ribs crack as he just falls over backwards, flying. And he does not get up.
Yeah, looks at the other two. Have you gotten the message yet? And looks away for them. These have gone like on for quite a bit, and going to, where do I have it? Here it is. With the left arm, Siri is going to point at that hero and tilt their hand back, and from this launcher underneath, Sanctuary.
Thank you. Though I'd say you should probably say this before your turn ends in call chat.
Oh. Wait. I mean, that has been the motto.
I mean, yeah, but I think it'd be hilarious.
Beatings will continue until morale improves.
Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep. The beats will continue until your morale improves. Alright,
So
you know what?
fine.
Make an intimidation check with it.
Will do. Let's see. Intimidation. Hiya. That is a 30. Gotta be more.
Yeah, they definitely look pretty alarmed at the fact that you just hit him with one punch. As anything else for your turn?
That's all my turn.
All right. At this point, a lot of the other patrons that were just kind of fighting each other, at least the ones that weren't fighting up front stage, they turn around and see the onslaught that's going behind them, and you just see the bodies continue to pile up from you guys.
I do have to remind you, what I've been doing is Thunder Gauntlet on Booming Blade. It's explosion after explosion after explosion.
Yeah, yeah. Just seeing it hearing boom, 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 boom. The two that were in front of you, they throw their arms down and they're like, "Oh, fuck this! Get out of here!" And they peel out. And we'll kind of see, at least no one else is currently fighting you at this point. As the brawl kind of continues at the front. At this point, I think we could go ahead and call initiative.
Okay.
As the fight's kind of continuing towards the front and it begins to die down a little bit, but Pie Scotfish is continuing to, attempt to make their escape with their gear off stage.
Meanwhile, at this point, no one's attacking him and the fight's staying somewhere else. Hero is now just walking over to all of the bodies. He is just taking their gold pouches as recompense. Because he also realizes that us as people staying at the bar will probably get left with the bill. So he's just, nope, you gave up your money when you threw the glass. Yep. Nope. Nope. Nope.
Yeah, but that's if Vandry's not beating you to it.
Yeah. No. One mind. We're both the same mercenary. At a certain point, if Ava and Zero don't join in, we're probably gonna chide them. Help us!
No. We will loot them. They will just move them over to an area for recovery.
Fair.
The ones that are already looted will just get moved to a recovery area.
Zero just face bumps and goes to check the ones they hit to see like they are still breathing.
Yeah, they're still breathing. The one whose ribs you crush is very laboriously breathing, but he's still alive.
All right, they will start dragging them into a corner for easier access.
All right.
Part of me wants to imagine you just drag them and throw them into a corner, like not violently, but just drop them, and then Ava just comes along, puts them in the recovery position, just like there.
All right. Vandry, from the group of the people that you managed to scrounge up, you managed to find 7 gold pieces, 8
7
silver
gold?
pieces. Yep, 7 gold, 8 silver, and 7 copper. And then for you, Hero, you managed to get 6 gold, 13 silver, and 20 copper.
Okay, 6. 1 second, I'm doing this because I'm very bad vocal memory. 6, 13, and 20, you said?
Yep.
At which point after that, he'll just be like, he'll go over to Ava, just be like, can you follow me into a corner real quick? I don't want them seeing this and making a whole new riot.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, he will drag them off to someplace no one's looking because, again, at this point we have now created a triage on half the bar floor. And just be like, can you do your healing thing? They shouldn't be able to see it here.
Oh, yeah, sure. Will reach out her hand, and almost like before, there's like that strange pulse of energy that like ripples across like the strange tattoo markings on her. And once again, almost looks like something attempts to like. There's some kind of like lighting effect that tries to manifest behind her, but it's difficult to tell what it is. And will heal you 10.
He'll be like, okay, he did not need that. He only took 4 damage.
She's just making sure.
Either way, he will take that and be like, okay, thank you so much. Okay. If you had done that prior to the head trauma, I might have been able to see something. So I'm not sure how much you know this, but anytime you heal someone, something tries to manifest behind you. If I did not have quasi-concussed vision, I might have been able to figure it out. We'll look on that in the future, okay? That's something for you to hold on to.
Okay.
Yeah, alright. Now, let's go tend to whoever actually needs healing. I'm pretty sure Zero's mostly fine. Check on Vandry. And then we all need another drink. In fact, I need several. Because one was thrown at my head. At this point, you're just like, no, adrenaline go down. Just let's get the...
Hero, as you begin to make your way up the bar, you begin to hear another commotion outside. As you go to turn your head, from the saloon doors outside, you do see a trio of individuals begin to make their way through, and as they make their way through the door, you all see it as 3 bridge keepers begin to make their way through the bar, and they say, "All right, that's enough. Break it up, all of you." And as they come in order to break down the ruckus and figure out what's going on, that's where we're going to end our session tonight.
Alrighty.
Oh yeah.
Good shit.
You're good?
So I had that episode title I put up in the other tab earlier, but now I'm almost tempted to just be like, so you walk into another bar fight. But what a session, guys. Been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Word.
Good shit.
I very badly need to use the restroom. I'll let you guys start going around the horn, and then I will help find us somebody to raid.
All right.
Alrighty. Go ahead, Milan.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead, start with me. Hello. I am Milan Ninja, your illustrious DM for this campaign. When you can't find me here with this lovely group of players, you can also find me here every other Tuesday night for DMing phase of our lives, the Wild Beyond the Witchlight campaign, where the Witchlight Brigade is currently staring down the last of the 3 hags of the Twilight of the Hourglass Coven, Endlin Moongrave, in her theater lookout at Motherhorde. How will the party react with her encounter? Tune in next Tuesday to find out. On top of that, you can also catch me on LeJake's campaign at twitch.tv/LeJake. Adosian Anthologies Legacy of the Dealbreakers, Volume 2. You can also find me on Blue Sky and occasionally on Twitch, also at Milan Ninja. Aside from that, not much else for me.
One thing I will say, you might want to turn the music just down a slight bit. It's a little overwhelming.
Yeah. There, how's that?
That should be fine.
All right. Aside from that, not much else from me. Citric, go.
Hi, hello, I'm Strict. You can find me pretty much everywhere at Citricking, everywhere being places like Blue Sky, Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, if you want to see a dead account. Right now, I have my hands pretty full, but I've been posting the results of some of my previous commissions on Blue Sky, so if you want to take a peek and see how that went, by all means, go check. But upcoming things. Not this, not tomorrow Saturday, but next week Saturday, I got a pretty long session for our Candlekeep games that CG is running. Due to scheduling, instead of doing the usual 2-shot for module, we are going to run a double whammy of a session. That will be over at Haza is my name here on Twitch. Haza, it's HACCA, and it's my name. So keep an eye out for that Saturday next week. So that is me. What about you, Alpha? Skelly?
I'm Scaly Alpha. I can be found at Twitch and Blue Sky under the same names. This weekend, we're going to be doing some kind of wildcard stream tomorrow. Some Memorial Day plans have fallen through, so I'm just gonna do something up tomorrow. And then Sunday, I'm gonna be over at Vaughn's channel for those who wonder. Monday, I'm gonna be doing the off-fan game A New Home with Tix Dixel and Pepper Chesser. The rest of the week's schedule will be forthcoming. Although I'm really locking in on art practice for Art Fight coming up. So gonna be trying to hunt down people to do art trades with in the meantime to practice. Other than that, that's really me, and I'll pass it over to Rosso from there.
Hello, you can find me at RossoRyu, that is ROSOHRYU. You can find me on Blue Sky and YouTube. In terms of other D&D games you can find me on twitch.tv/TwitchThePersian for Power Rangers Cyberstrike. I think we're moving to Wednesdays now, so the next session may happen next Wednesday. In terms of wrestling stuff, you can find me on Mondays as R. Sawyer, The Undisputed Future on MNW Warzone, at Dr_Caliban in terms of Twitch channel. And this coming up Monday, there is MNW Limit Break, a pay-per-view, where my character will be featured in that. So, yeah, that's all for me. And if Bernard Vaughn's back, I will pass it on to him.
I am. Hi, guys. So, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on Blue Sky and YouTube at Burnout Vaughn, over on Patreon at Burnout's Bar. This week, yeah, it's a stream-packed weekend. We had this tonight. Tomorrow we have No Love War Extra, where we sure are a public defender who has done literally no legal action, and it's only just done basically the things you would expect a police investigator or private eye to do, while also being posthumously given a young ward slash... I don't know what to call Sarah. She's great. Let's give her a Sarah snack. But we're going into our first court case. And we're not sure how many court cases are going to be in episode 1. This might be one of our last sessions, or we could be in for a very long ride. Either way, we're having a ton of fun. Get Of the Devil. The demo's free, and the first episode's like $6. It's an amazing game, and if you like Danganronpa and Phoenix Wright, but acknowledge that something could be better, that's Of the Devil. Get it. Play it. Support it. Know that Morgan's the best character. That being said, then Sunday, oh boy, as always, in Those Who Wander, we are dealing with the consequences of our actions, and by that I mean I'm dealing with the consequences of Branston's actions, and hoping that our new party member, for the time being Clem, will be as amenable to all of my fuck-ups that I will inflict upon them. But with that said, I think we should rate somebody who, you know, they were just doing a session right before us. So I think, you know, share the love. So we're going to raid Connor, so give me a second to type that in.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Yes, first session for his new campaign.
Yeah. Get this second to do.
Now he's not to be rising.
Yeah. I would also say, if you're not watching us on certain Fridays, you should definitely watch them, especially if you like Outlaw Star. The episodes are going to be, the VODs are going to be up on Connor's YouTube channel, so you should definitely check that out and watch our games. Support our friends. But yeah, I think our raid message is pretty simple, so I'm going to let time down for a second, but I think it is, so we walked into another bar fight. How's that?
Bubba's suggesting toss the dwarves.
You know what? Toss the dwarves, sure. Alright, thank you all for coming out. We will see you again in 2 weeks' time. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sorry.